Welcome back, everybody, to the Dusty Bender Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chance Watson, with you as always, Taylor Wells. Episode 114 coming at you, folks. Today we are recording on a very beautiful, very warm July 2nd, Sunday afternoon. And Taylor, we have a lot to cover in this episode.
We sure do. It's going to be a good one.
It is going to be an action-packed thrill ride. I think I might have saw like how somebody described Die Hard.
Yeah.
And that's where I stole that from.
But it accurately describes exactly what we're going to be going through here. So
a nonstop thrill ride.
Yes, it will not end.
A roller coaster going off the rails.
It's going to be like a 6-hour roller coaster ride into fucking hell.
Hour 3. You know, Babcock's not that bad of a guy.
Here's the thing. He can turn players around.
Johan Franzen's a bit of a pussy.
And Marner, should have just shut up about his fucking list.
Has anybody talked to his dad yet? All right. What does old Bob Marner have to say about this?
It's got to be Mike, right? Like if you're going to name your kid Mitch, like it's got to be a Mike or something.
Or maybe he's Mitch too.
Mitch also.
Yeah, maybe Mitch is a junior.
It's actually like Mitchell Marner the fucking 16th. It's like his family name is Mitch.
He's French Canadian, so it's like Michel
Marner.
There you go.
See,
you gotta say it like that. And then Mitch is like, "Well, I can't do that. I'll just be Mitch."
I gotta break the chain. Gotta stop the cycle. Michel.
Folks, if you are, you know what? I saved this just for now. I didn't tell you about it before we went on mic. So behind me, I'm expertly blocking it, but there's a box that has basically part of my childhood in it. I grabbed this box from my dad's place because it has all my old hockey cards into it. By the way, if you're listening to this and you know what the fuck to do with hockey cards, please let me know. I have no fucking idea what to do with them other than to take them to the card shop down the road. And he's probably gonna be like, dude, I don't know what to do with fucking hockey cards either.
Dude, you gotta get a binder with like the clear sleeves. Stick them in there.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
And
really nice ones, you can get like the little single plastic holders, man.
Yeah, that's true. I found a few Gretzky's that are useful, but I wanted to because this is going to be a Pacific Northwest touting episode as well. I did find something cool in there. Look at this. This is right here. This is my report card from Spokane Chiefs hockey camp.
Oh boy,
2001. Tell me if some of these names on the back ring a bell to you.
Bill Peters, Mike Babcock.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, Cam Severson's on there.
Shout out to Cam Severson on there. Fan favorite of the show. We're going to bring him on actually pretty soon.
Debbie Johnson, bro. You don't know Debbie?
I don't know Debbie. Debbie and I did not. I don't know who signed I think it was Derek Schutz. He was a pretty famous Chiefs player in the early 2000s.
Nice.
I think it was Derek Schutz. He was the guy who helped me after Geoff Keeler, he was a Chiefs captain for a little while, and he went off and played with what's that team in Vegas that before Vegas got a team? The Wranglers?
Yep.
Yeah. His name was Geoff Keeler. Geoff Keeler was the captain of the Spokane Chiefs for a few years, and in Chiefs camp, he ripped my toenail off on accident.
Was it an accident?
See, I was in our locker room, right? And at the end of every day, we'd go to the YMCA to swim. And I was wearing those this is 2001. So I'm a kid wearing, the Velcro sandals.
Nice.
This kid, there was the red team and the white team. And I was on the white team. Or was I on the red team? Can't remember. I think I was on the red team. Anyway, Derek Schutz is in the locker room helping some kid take his skate off. What a fucking pussy. And the kid from the other team runs in and starts flicking the lights in our locker room. And Schutz fucking goes, Chance, go get that fucking kid. So I run up and he holds the door and we're battling at the door and it closes. And I go to open it and Joff just fucking flies it open from the other side. And it was one of those doors that like automatically close, like with the little latches below. So it just grabbed my fucking toenail and ripped that fucker off.
Oof.
Ooh.
You get a fucking full refund on the camp?
I got no, so even better though. So I got to go into the trainer's room and I met, Brendan Cote, all the guys that were like super. I think even Cowan was on the team for a little while. I met him, hobbled over to the YMCA looking for my dad. We eventually found him. But anytime from that point on, I ran into Joff, he flipped me a puck over the glass because he remembered me.
Nice.
Like
Well, yeah, trauma, dude. You're in his fucking nightmares.
I've got I have a mini hockey stick. I have it to this day. I need to dig through that box more. It says 2 chants from Joff. How's the toe?
Nice.
So I was really hoping Joff was going to make it big. Apparently he didn't get past the Wranglers, but
Yeah. The Wranglers used to play the Anchorage Aces all the fucking time. I think it
no
was the
shit.
ECHL, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So we'd see Vegas, we'd see Steelheads, all that shit.
Nice.
They don't even have a team up there anymore.
No?
Fucking shame, man.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, a skating ability. Forward, 4 out of 5.
Oh.
Backward 3 out of 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was always a strong skater, and then I'm gonna tell you this part, and you're gonna be like, yeah, that makes sense. Shooting abilities, accuracy 4 out of 5, power 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Touch at net 4 out of 5.
Oh,
So I could tip.
You're a fucking banger, dude.
And I could put the puck where I wanted it to. It just wasn't going very fast.
It just was a fucking flop shot.
Yeah. Stick handling 3 out of 5. Passing 5 out of 5.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hello.
And positional play 4 out of 5. So not bad. Not bad.
That is pretty good. I think that's hilarious to do a fucking report card, though.
I know. Isn't this cool that they handed these out? Like
great.
It says my name and everything on it. They had a lot of guys. I don't know what the partnership was there, but I remember there was a lot of, like, whenever there were prizes or something you could win at the camp, because we were kids, so you got to be motivated to win shit. It was always like Calgary Flames 2000, like 2001 stuff. So like, it was always signed by like the Flames players or something.
It's pretty
I don't know. It must have been because we had somebody at the camp who was part of the Flames organization at the time, but like we always had like if you won today's race, you get a fucking signed thing from the mascot or some horse shit.
Had to be Debbie Johnson working for the fucking Calgary Flames or something. No, that is pretty cool. We never got report cards and shit. They just fucking bag skated us. They were like, here's your fucking report card, piece of shit. So, yeah. Thanks, Scott Gomez.
Oh, you want me to tell you how you were? You want to know how you did at this camp? Shit, that's what you did.
Yeah, you were trash.
You were trash. You're not any better than when you first got here.
Yeah.
See you next year. Thanks for the money.
Isn't that your problem, Debbie? Like, Debbie, you were supposed to make me better, but my report card looks worse than last year. This doesn't add up.
Goes up to your parents like, hey, this is weird. This is the first player we've ever had leave worse.
Hey, is Chance into like musical instruments or anything? Because he should probably not be playing this sport.
We left our Moscow tournament. I remember leaning over to Baxi. I was like, one day I'm going to learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
30 years old. I'll figure it out.
Dude, you're going to be like 69 with just an absolute cannon. It's just the slow grind,
Right. Dude, the problem is like I was like, I was a small dude. So I knew I needed to be fast in order to get around the big guys. So I worked on my speed and I worked on agility, but I never I guess I just forgot to get the whole part where I needed to shoot the puck.
Yeah, bulk up.
Yeah, happened.
I don't know about
fast.
you.
I was fast as a motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I never got into lifting. Like a lot of guys, especially in high school, started to lift a little bit. It
took me a long time.
And I still don't fucking lift, dude. I lift for years.
I would. I mean, I don't know. It depends on who you're talking to. Like the average person, yeah, I probably lift more than them. But like there are legit people who go to the gym every day, and they would, for what I do, they would probably say I don't lift because the minimum amount that I do is trivial to them.
Well, yeah, those are the guys that spend they go for an hour and a half, then they go get lunch, and then they come back for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I just don't have the time for that.
That's not my life.
I couldn't. I'd like to. That's a nice goal one day.
I wouldn't even like to.
No, but you and I are fuck, I don't know. What's the heaviest you've ever been?
Probably 195. I'm down to like 185.
Okay.
But a lot of that's just beer weight, dude.
I was gonna say, was that
good weight?
Oh, okay. So I was about to say, is it good weight or bad weight? See, I got, for better or for worse, genetics won't allow me. The heaviest I've ever been is 160.
Dude, you are an absolute toothpick. Your pants would fit on one of my fucking legs. I got chicken legs, bro.
Dude, back in college was bad. Like I think I was when we were playing hockey. I should have not been allowed on the team with the weight that I had. I was like 125.
But you look cute.
I was svelte, man.
Yeah.
I was definitely
you
cut.
You were there for, you brought the looks of the team up.
Was that what it was?
That's it. Yeah. I was on the team to just crack jokes in the locker room and then show up occasionally to hockey games.
I was gonna say neither one of us were scoring many goals. So
no. Well, I mean, I was more of a passer. That's what I had DJ on my line for.
That's right.
But I and then Devin got on my line for a little bit, and I stopped getting any fucking points.
Weird how that works.
Yeah.
Shout out to Devin Lewis, just to remind him that I scored more goals than him both years that we played together. Okay, he had more points, 100%. But and you know what? I'll even take a shot at it on that because he was on a line with Kyle, and all he had to do was pass the puck to him.
Dude, little Squatter was like the only one putting pucks in the back of the net besides DJ.
That's true. So. That is definitely true. Have we rambled enough already?
Yeah, I mean, should we talk about the people that kind of pay us to do this?
Kind of, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so first off, folks, we need to shout out to the Third Line Hockey tournaments. So these draft tournaments, folks, if you haven't listened to our show before, if this is your first time joining us, first off, welcome to the show. Strange time to be finally jumping into a hockey podcast in the middle of summer, but you know what? We're not going to complain. We're not going to judge you. We don't do it here at the hockey, unless you like, I don't know, Garrett Holloway or something,
I mean, if you want us to judge you, like, just send a picture in our DMs on Twitter and we will do it. I will happily judge anybody.
Roast the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Hathaway, if you've got a picture of like Hathaway, you and him just like arm in arm, like that'll probably get fucking Taylor going.
You got Hathaway at the fucking lake, like being a normal dude, taking a picture with you. Like, I will find something wrong with it.
Look at that fucking asshole.
Look at his tiny little fish he just caught. What a fucking loser, dude. I bet he spit in its face too. What a fucking
probably
loser.
Before he threw it back into the water.
Yeah. I don't know why he's French. In my mind, he's probably French.
That makes sense. Absolutely. They're all villains, right? Like the twist in the mustache. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, Third Line Hockey Tournament. Folks, jump on over to Third Line Draft. That's the number 3, RDLINEDDRAUGHT.com. And you're going to check out, folks, these guys are hosting the coolest fucking beer league tournaments. They just had one in Spokane recently. The jerseys and the uniforms they provide, it's pant shells, socks, jerseys, everything in between. Guys, these are absolute fucking beautiful unis.
Clean.
Absolutely. They're all themed based on like something around, like Spokane's was historic, like going after, history in Spokane, hockey history in Spokane rather. And it just changed. The theme changes from place to place, but it always has like a home feel and it means something to the area. So coming up right now on July 7th, draft tournament is going on in Chicago, Illinois. Then we've got one in Boise, Idaho, coming up on July 14th. We've got some friends down there that might want to join this.
Yeah. If I wasn't starting an actual fucking job on that exact day, I might go.
That's right. You are finally not being an unemployed bum.
Yep.
Yeah. July 21st, Nashville, Tennessee. Shout out to our other sponsor there, John Miller. He might need to fly back home and jump on that tournament. Cincinnati, Ohio on July 28th, and then Denver, Colorado on August 11th. Folks, if you are in any of those cities, if you are near them, or you want to go for an excuse to go out and have some fun and play some hockey, it's definitely for fun, folks. It's not something that, you can come back and fuck, God damn it. No, it's all about having fun. But God damn, is it a good time? we didn't participate in the Spokane one, but man, was it, I got to meet a lot of the people that were there. I went out to the Hub Tavern. Shout out to another sponsor that we have here in a second, but they absolutely had a fantastic time. So if you are interested in any of these tournaments, check out thirdlinedraft.com and sign up for one of these tournaments today. Next up, as I just mentioned, the Hub Tavern out in Spokane, Washington on Monroe. The Hub Tavern, your home away from home, and the hockey bar in Spokane. Arguably one of the best, if not the best, on the Anchor Alliance. So officially partnered with the Seattle Kraken. Folks, I know that they had a great time with the draft party. And yeah, now it's kind of the downtime because hockey is down right now, but that does not matter to the folks over at the Hub Tavern because it is still a fantastic place to hang out. Those people there are just absolute fucking beauties. Go in there, tell Dave or Mona or anybody who else is manning the bar that day. Tell them that you were referred by by the Dusty Bender podcast. I almost said the Hockey Podcast Network. We should shout them out too. The Dusty Bender Podcast. And I'm sure they'll do something nice.
They'll say hi to you.
Right. I'm not gonna say a discount. I don't know about that. Maybe they might say, "Hey, I listened to this god awful podcast just for this discount. Can I have a beer?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Yeah, we got a trough in the back. You can go scoop a cup out.
That sounds about right. That's where we wring out the dish rags at the end of the night.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Dave would never do that to his loyal customers. He's a good guy. So yeah, check out the Hub Tavern out in Spokane, Washington on Monroe. It is your home away from home and Spokane's hockey bar. Last but not least, we've got John Miller, Fire Chief John Miller, longtime listener and supporter of the show. John, we love you. And folks, it's wildfire season. Please make sure your campfires are dead out. That means no smoke coming from them. Don't be that asshole that throws your cigarette out. Well, okay, first off, you know what? I feel like we don't like to take hard stances on the show, but God, first off, you shouldn't be smoking. All right, don't smoke. It's not good for you. If you are smoking, try not to flick cigarette butts out of your car.
Yeah,
that's really not. That's not. I mean, you shouldn't be smoking. First off, you shouldn't be smoking. You shouldn't be smoking in your car. It's going to lower the resale value. We could bring on. I got a car salesman friend to come on here and tell you talk 20 minutes about how that's going to lower the resale value at least $5,000. And then you flick that out. Then you're starting a wildfire. And then if they find out it was you, you're going to jail.
You think they fingerprint that shit?
Oh, absolutely. Well, if they find a butt,
that'd be fucking awesome.
They get you on a traffic camera or something. You flicking a cigarette butt out. Oh, they're coming after you because the government doesn't want to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get on people that smoke cigarettes too much, so just because of my nicotine that I do, but I don't flick it out of the car. I do have one. I have a science experiment going on at my local municipal golf course. So
yeah,
I left a Zyn there like a month ago on this fucking railing, and it's still there. So I'm just seeing how long it takes for some nasty person to fucking grab my own lip.
Sure. Hey, you know what? Every one of us have our crosses to bear and our habits. As I drink this is a Miller High Life because it's what I had in my fridge. But I threw in a little it's like special Clamato. Like it's not normal Clamato. It's like made for doing
special people.
This right here.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I do have a quick question for you. I want to go back to the wildfire thing.
Yeah.
Putting aluminum cans in a fire pit. Do you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're eventually gonna have to clean out your fire pit anyway.
Sure.
Like if it's your own fire pit at home, you're already gonna have to dig that bitch out. After a certain number of fires, you're gonna build up shit, and it just depends on if you want to get them now or later.
Yeah.
If I'm at like a bonfire or something, I try not to because I know that no one's gonna clean that up.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. So I used to do it quite a bit, but I ended up being the guy that cleaned up the fucking campsite at the end anyway, so I just got sick of scooping them out.
Yeah, no, and it's that scale of like backyard fire pit to not necessarily a campsite, but and seeing this is where my redneck roots are showing, but like just going up into the woods and having a bonfire.
Yeah,
you're not camping. You're just up in the middle of fucking nowhere having a way too big a fire with people's tailgates backed up to it.
Yeah. Just invite John Miller if you're going to go do that.
That's right. Absolutely. And then you're like actually camping. So, I mean, I think it's more of along the lines of like more often than not, I don't.
Yeah.
But there are certain circumstances where fucking, if there's nowhere else to throw it, could go in the fire and under at like my house.
Yeah, we had a lengthy conversation about that last time we were camping. So,
okay.
always interesting. I'm in the I got a fucking bag. I'll just toss it in the bag.
Yeah,
I'm in that camp, but
absolutely. Yeah, you gotta make sure that you clean up after yourself up in the woods. There you go.
Right.
Oh, and I guess that's not the last one because we should shout out the Hockey Podcast Network, the thing that we're fucking a part of.
Sure.
The Hockey Podcast Network, folks, jump on over to the website or check out all their podcasts that are on every single streaming platform that you can find. Absolute beauties. We are absolutely happy to be a part of it. Shout out, man. Taylor can attest to this. I've been a big oh fuck, why is his name escaping me now? The 10-inch cock on Letterkenny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just got he has a podcast and he actually just joined the Hockey Podcast Network.
Hey, big time.
Yeah, I definitely jump on over there and listen to that. It's actually pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have to get him on the show.
Oh, absolutely. We gotta definitely shout out. Oh, or us come on his show, whatever.
There you go.
If I don't know if we're that popular, but
hey, it's it's one big family on the Hockey Podcast Network. There's something
that is absolutely true. Yeah. All right. Anything else for housekeeping while we're talking about it? We do have an event that you and I are going to here at the end of this month.
Sure do.
Yeah, charity golf tournament here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Taylor and I will be, we've got media passes. We will be out there having some fun, not participating in the tournament. We're not that popular, but we'll be rubbing shoulders and having fun with some big names in the hockey world. We'll be excited to at least be standing in the presence of, if not being able to, I don't know, talk to a couple of them.
Yeah, I think some of the big names, Ray Whitney, I think Gretzky always kind of shows up. I'm not sure if he'll be there for sure, but that's another one.
Oh yeah, Gretz is there because he's got his hockey school up here.
Yeah, and then Bobby Ryan, that's a good one. I'd like to get a little time with Bobby Ryan. So
old Jeremy Roenick will be there.
Jeremy Roenick, Larry Fitzgerald, I believe.
Yeah,
if I'm remembering correctly. So
yeah,
there's some big names that are going up there. So yeah, it'll be a good time. And I you know me, I fucking love golf. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It'll be fun to watch that and see how that goes. Hopefully we run into some other local. Oh, Tyler Johnson will be there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson will be there. We'll have to
first line center TJ.
That's correct. Well, Daily Faceoff has him at second center, but no, most likely. Oh yeah, well, because Connor Bedard obviously takes priority.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be first line center with Taylor Hall and Andreas Anthony.
Oh fuck! I can't even imagine that he's still on the team. I'd have to double check that.
Yeah,
we'll get into plenty in Chicago here in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right, folks, we're gonna dig into it now. So this episode, normally we hit the Kraken stuff. I think since enough time has gone by, we've got so much to encompass and cover right now. We are just going to hit on actual topics and starting with trades. We're gonna go trades, and then we're gonna go actual UFA signings. Then we're going to go the draft. And then if there's anything left, we're going to do just covering news. But our whole point here is to try to hit on everything that's gone on in the last 2 weeks that we have not been able to cover since our last episode. So without further ado, we're going to once again utilize the TSN trade tracker. And Taylor, this trade season has been, I wouldn't say completely quiet, but it's been a little less active than we thought.
Yeah, a little more quiet than I think everyone wanted. But I mean, the other stuff was pretty entertaining. All right, I think the draft was a little slow, but I mean, it was really high end talent. So I mean, that made up for any trades and stuff that we missed from there. But yeah, it's been a little slow, but there's definitely been some big names that have moved. So
absolutely. All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to start on June 6th. talking about a trade between the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Philadelphia Flyers. Oh, before we do that, just to preface, folks, we're not going to sit here and bore you with every single trade that's gone on. Nobody wants to hear about fucking Fredrik Olofsson.
Come on.
Fredrik Olofsson to the Colorado Avalanche for future considerations, our favorite player, going off to the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, we're not going to hit on everyone. We'll do the major ones. We'll do the ones that we think are relevant to the team and we're actually needle movers.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Ivan Provorov off to the Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for a 2023 first round pick and a conditional 2024 second round pick. Taylor, I'll start you off by saying I like this move for Columbus. Bit of an overpayment.
Yeah, it's tough to give up a first round pick for a guy that really hasn't done a whole lot of anything.
Agreed.
But I mean, here's the thing for this, right? Columbus identified a need, right? They knew they needed to stack up their backside, especially when they brought in Gaudreau. They're bringing in a new coach, and they're about to draft, top 3 in 2023. Yep. So I like that move in that regard, but I think. Yeah, I mean, he actually went for a first-round pick this year, which was a stacked fucking draft, and then a second-rounder next year, which isn't as good as this year, that draft, but, I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. That could easily be an NHL player. Mm-hmm. So it's just – I think you're right. I think it is an overpayment, but Provorov needs to go to a team where he's not the center of attention, right? He needs to go and be the third D or the fourth D, and that's what they're getting. So I believe in this trade, though, too. I think LA was involved in this as well.
Oh?
I think there was a third. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe it was the Severson one. I don't know. One of these had another team involved to kind of help with some stuff moving around, I believe.
Gotcha. Yeah, something like that. You might be right there. Looking at Provorov's just quick hits here. Finished last season, 82 games played, 6 goals, 21 assists, minus 17.
Hello.
Philadelphia, year before, 79 games played, 9 goals, 22 assists, minus 20.
Yeah.
So 2 really bad seasons. Now, granted, Philly's been terrible through those. I do like to. I usually put a huge salt shaker with the lockout year, or not the lockout, the COVID years column. Mm-hmm. 2019, 2020, and then 2020, 2021. But so if you skip over those, 2018, 7 goals, 19 assists in 82 games, minus 16. So I don't. It's the stats definitely don't look good for this guy.
Yeah, he had a good season. I mean, fuck, if you're going 2018, he had a good season somewhere in there. So maybe it was the year before.
2017, 2018. He played 82 games. He had 17 goals, 24 assists, and was a plus 17.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
So he had that one good year. Like I said, I skipped over 2019, 2020, and 2020, 2021 because those were the shortened, weird years.
Right.
So the numbers are kind of skewed.
Yeah.
So that being said, I did just bash on the guy. I do think it is a net positive for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They did need something, and this is kind of like echoing basically what you said. I think that they knew what they needed. I don't know if this was the move,
right?
But it's a move, and it's certainly going to help a very depleted Columbus Blue line.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, so we'll kind of bunch it all together, but with their draft, with free agency coming up, players want to see these kind of guys, right? They want to see these kind of moves. Like, this team is getting better, right? They have young guys. They have guys that have been around for a little bit. They want to see those guys kind of coming in to the team before they make some of these free agency decisions and stuff. So I think overall it was good for them. LA was involved, so they retained 30% of Provorov's salary, and then got Kevin Connaughton and Hayden Hodgson out of it. So Philly did really well here. I think Columbus is, they went for a need, and I think that's totally okay. Flyers ended up with a 2023 first round, a 2024 second, Hell Grands, which I think was a second rounder a year or two ago, a second-round pick, Cal Peterson and Sean Walker. So Philly actually came out of this feeling pretty decent about what they got based on what they were giving up, right? So, I think it worked out for both teams. So not terrible.
Philly, man, holy shit! I mean, we can analyze, we can get in that in a little bit, but like Briere's, I don't know if they're good moves, but he's definitely making moves.
I mean, it's better than sitting down and watching from the couch. So
correct. Yeah. So, yep, pretty much. All right, moving on. We've got multi. Do you want to talk about the Cal Peterson trade?
I think so. That was part of the.
Was that part of it? Okay.
Yeah. So, but I think the next one is also Columbus, which that's an interesting one to talk about, and that just Damon Severson from New Jersey for a third-round pick from Columbus. So again, just making, shoring up the back end. I think Severson I prefer over Provorov anyways.
Agreed.
So to just give up a 2023 third-round pick for him is, I mean.
I guess it balances out.
It balances out. I think that's actually, New Jersey probably needed to go for a second rounder at least. But and then they ended up signing, I believe it was a sign and trade.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Severson signed an 8-year deal with the Devils and then traded his contract.
Yeah. So, I like the Severson one. I think Severson could go really well with Werenski. So I think that one to me is the better trade for Columbus. And it's just it was a great move. They know exactly where they need to. Merzlikins is still back there, right? So they need to show him. They need to give him a little more support. He just didn't. I mean, as soon as Werenski went down last year, the team was pointless.
Yes.
So they needed some D. Anybody want to play D?
Right.
Yeah.
Who wants to play? It's like a beer league game. Like, hey, who wants to play back?
Yeah.
Everybody's just fucking sitting there looking at each other.
Not me, coach.
No. I guess I'll do it.
Yeah. I'll do it if no one else wants to. It's like the shittiest skater on their team. Yeah. Can't even skate backwards. He's got the chance report card of 3 of 5. Yeah.
The chance report card. Oof. Yeah. I had high hopes in 2021.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking at Daily Faceoff right now, just specifically to the blue line, I like that pairing of Werenski with Severson. Ivan Provorov helps out with was it Peck?
Yeah, PK. I don't really know.
PK.
It's one of those.
PK. Eric Gabranson and Adam Boquist are a fine bottom. Like that's exactly where they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine. I still don't love this decor, but it's certainly better than what it was.
Yeah, and I think another player that isn't on there right now, but that they have in the pipeline that's probably ready to make the jump is David Jiricek, who they drafted, I believe, last year. But yeah, he's really good two-way guy. Mm-hmm. So I could see him slotting in, beating somebody out in mini camps. So. Sure. Yeah, it's basically if Werenski goes down again this year, they at least have a resemblance of a fucking NHL decor. You know what I mean?
Right. So. Right. Well, and so let's knock out all the Columbus stuff while we're on the conversation. The Columbus Blue Jackets are now, unofficially we've known for about a month, but as of the 1st, the Columbus Blue Jackets announced that they are bringing on Mike Babcock as their coach. Yeah. Man, how do you feel about Babcock? First, how do you feel about Babcock just coming back in the league? I think it was brought up on another podcast that I think we do falsely, not to defend Mike Babcock, holy shit, but like we falsely rope him in with like Bill Peters and Quenneville on why they got axed.
Yeah.
Peters said something stupid 8 years ago or 10 years ago, wherever the fuck. And then Quenneville, obviously, with the whole Chicago stuff. They all got canned around the same time or, took heat around the same time. So we kind of rope Babcock in to that. And it's not, if we're firing Babcock for that, then that's why Daryl Sutter should get fired, which he did. So,
yeah,
it's a new league where you kind of have to work with players, huh?
Yeah. And I think, he's taken enough time off, right? That I want to think that you can give him a second chance. We all know his abilities as a coach, right? I mean, he's a good hockey coach. It's to be seen whether he can, not necessarily conform, but you can't just be a total fucking prick nowadays. Like if he can learn and improve himself in that regard, like, I mean, the league just got one of the better coaches in the last, 20, 30 years back into the league. So,
right.
It'll be interesting to see what they do.
So,
I think they needed a shakeup behind the bench.
Tell me though, they've got? I mean, this is a promising Columbus team that's got a lot of talent. You've mentioned this many times on the show. They've got a pretty good pipeline of talented young guys that are coming in. Do you think Babcock's going to be able to help with that?
Yeah, I mean, he has enough guys that are proven NHLers to where mixing those young guys in, right? They're going to come into a team that is already business because they have the Johnny Gaudreaus, they have the Werenskis. Patrick Laine is going to be an interesting one to kind of keep an eye on. But yeah, I think I don't necessarily know off the top of my head whether or not he's a good development coach. But in that regard, right, they're coming in and he's already set the precedence with the experienced guys. And so those kids are just going to come in and kind of more or less learn from the vets, right? So, he's going to kind of be a Herb Brooks, right? Whereas the rest of the team is going to kind of build and just learn from that. So
learning from the vets, like, are we at the point where Patrick Laine is a vet?
No, I think Johnny Gaudreau. I think
sure.
You still have as much as he's just a kind of a nobody. I mean, Boone Jenner's been in the league for a while now, and then Zach Werenski seems like a good dude, right? So I mean, and he's been around for 5-6 years now, right, or something along those lines.
Boone, we're getting to a point, like right now, Boone is still low key under the radar, but we're gonna get to a point. How old is Boone Jenner?
My guess is 32.
Wow, that is a very specific guess.
Yeah.
Boone Jenner is.
Oh, he's 30.
Is he 30? Okay. Yeah. Like in 5 years, teams are going to be fighting over Boone Jenner at the trade deadline because he's going to be that Patrick Maroon.
Sure.
Like he's going to be that Corey Perry. He's going to be that guy that you want on your fourth fucking line to win you a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a third or fourth liner. He's just been playing 1-2 for the last however many years in Columbus.
I think currently he is on a Columbus team, he's good enough to be the first line center. I think, yeah, but you're right. Like on a contender, you trade him to Tampa, you trade him to Boston. He's your third or fourth line center. But that's a good thing. Like that's not like he's terrible, we got to stash him. It's not. It's like if Boone Jenner's your third or fourth line center on a Stanley Cup pushing team, you're not in a bad spot.
Yeah, I think he reminds me a lot of Jordan Staal.
Yeah. Yes.
Just that same can play up on those top six, but realistically should be a third line center.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be a storyline all year to see how Mike Babcock can do. But I mean, he's got the experience, and this team is fucking loaded in the pipeline. So
a lot more. If I'm a Columbus Blue Jackets fan, I'm much more optimistic than I was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 100%.
Even with, and Babs, if Babs doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world, man. It's a fucking coach carousel,
Right.
Yeah. You give him a shot. It's somebody that it shows that it tells your players, okay, we're not fucking around. We're not bringing in some AHL goalie with a weird fucking haircut. That guy looked like he looked like the dude from Taxi Driver. Right, with the shaved, like with the shaved sides.
Yeah.
Like anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Are they going to make the playoffs? No, but I'm excited for this team. I'm excited to see this team. I would like to think that Elvis Merzlikins has a bounce back year.
Yeah,
I think it's as somebody who has been a fan, as both of us have been fans of teams that are actively trying to lose. It's hard to be a goalie and actually try to keep your focus.
Yeah.
That's why Gibby doesn't want to be in Anaheim anymore.
Right. Yeah. That's a lot of fucking rubber in Anaheim.
So much. It's frustrating to post over a 900 save percentage and still just get fucking waxed every night.
But yeah, definitely. You don't sleep very well.
No, absolutely not. All right, let's see here. What else do we got? We got Chicago. Chicago making a trade with the Boston Bruins, picking up legends Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno.
Yep.
We don't have to spend too much time on this because we know that Chicago's still a dumpster fire that seems to be now heading in the right direction. But Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno, they're not being brought in to move the needle or make a push. They're there to mentor the young guys and help Connor Bedard become the leader of that team.
Sure.
Like Nick Foligno's going to teach him how to be the leader of that team.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
I think it's a good move. You gotta put some guys that kind of know what they're doing around him, or else it's just you're gonna stunt the next generation of good players
right
before he even gets started. So
yep, I agree. Yeah. Some guy named Ian Mitchell and Alex Regula go to the Boston Bruins for this. It's a token trade. Chicago's taking salary dumps, Taylor Hall and Nick Foligno from Boston and doing them a favor. It's a win-win for both teams.
Yep.
The only reason I want to mention this one, it is kind of a low, uneventful trade in the grand scheme of things, but what could have been Kevin Hayes going to the St. Louis Blues in exchange for a 2024 sixth-round pick to the Philadelphia Flyers. Apparently, this trade was much bigger, but Torrey Krug would not waive his no-move clause to go to Philly.
What a selfish bastard.
Yeah, what a dick, right?
Yeah.
How dare you not want to go to a losing Flyers team and get yelled at by John Tortorella?
Yeah, what a jackweed. Fuck.
That's all I got to that.
Terrible.
Yeah, no, it's not good. So, you know what? If I'm Kevin Hayes, I'm pretty happy about going to St. Louis.
Yeah, get me out of Philly, dude.
Yeah, they're going to be. Well, as we'll talk about a little later, I don't know what they're currently doing. It seems like they're not interested in the full rebuild, but at the same time, they kind of are. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. All right. Big trade between the LA Kings and the Winnipeg Jets. I have some strong feelings on this one. So you give me your thoughts first.
Yeah, so Pierre-Luc Dubois, PLD, going to LA. In exchange, LA sent Winnipeg Alex Iafallo, Rasmus Kupari, Gabriel Velarde, and a 2024 second-round pick. In my opinion, I mean, he's kind of more of just the replacement for Kopitar's definitely getting towards the end.
Yep.
So he just kind of is that guy. And but if I, as a Ducks fan, like I have no problem with PLD finding another fucking team. He's just going to request a trade in 2 years. Let him have it. Let him see that fucking project through. Mm-hmm. But I think from the other side of things, Winnipeg definitely got some nice pieces. I mean, Gabe Velarde is no joke. Alex Iafallo has had a couple good years. Rasmus Kupari has some intrigue to him, and then just throw in a second round pick next year. So I like what Winnipeg was doing. PLD didn't want to be there anymore. So get rid of him and honestly got some good pieces back for him. So
yeah, I agree, but I'm more extreme. Whereas I think the Winnipeg Jets absolutely fleeced the LA Kings.
Yeah,
the Kings are going to regret this trade for a very
centuries.
Long time. Yeah, long after we're dead, they'll still be talking about how they fucked this up.
Yeah, Kings fans are going to pass this down through generations.
It was the moment that broke us.
Grandpa, tell us another story about the LA Kings. Well,
you want to talk about the LA Kings? The scourge of the Kings, PLD.
Oh, God.
Cursed the team for 100 years.
What's the over-under for him requesting a trade from LA?
100%. He will. This
under 3 years.
He's shown literally no loyalty to any team he's been on. He has no interest in being the guy to turn that team around.
Right.
He wants to go somewhere where he can ride coattails and get the puck passed to him and score goals. And, I really do not think much of Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Yeah.
I think that he is a one-dimensional player that is not good in the locker room and is just not. I'm not saying that he's not a net positive, but the absolute fucking treasure trove that they sent to Winnipeg, those are solid guys.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous, honestly.
Those are solid guys and a second round pick. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
PLD is just, I don't know. I feel like he's just overrated to the nth degree. Granted, I don't have his stats pulled up right now. PLD LA Kings. Let's see. Maybe the stats are like, hey, Chance, you're a fucking moron. You don't know what you're talking about.
He had a good year this year, and he's put together a couple good seasons. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard any like off ice issues, but clearly had fucking on ice issues with Torts. So
yeah,
it's just, and requesting, this is the second trade he's requested, and he's fucking 25. This is just going to be his career. We just haven't seen a guy like this in a little while, where it's just fucking trade after trade after trade. Just sit down.
It just makes me think that he's not committed. He wants to go somewhere that is going to make him look good. Like he's not willing to change his game to make the team better. I always like to go back to Ovechkin as that example. Like for a decade growing up, everybody was like, "Oh, Ovechkin's too one-dimensional. He's a terrible defensive player. All he can do is score goals, and everybody knows his two moves. He either does that, he puts his head down, he powers through the neutral zone with his head down and just burns past a defenseman at the top of the blue line, or he's sitting in his fucking office on the power play."
Sure.
He heard that. He changed his game. He started being more of a defensively minded player. Now he's not. Now he's just chasing the scoring record. But he changed his ways, and he was a more defensively two-way player. And look at that. He got his cup.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Crazy how that works. So, yeah, I think that's an absolute fleecing by the Winnipeg Jets. This is great. Because those guys, are they the guys that can make a team? They're a good foundation.
Yeah.
Like they're solid dudes to round out your middle six.
Yeah, I think what worries me a little bit with what Winnipeg is doing, they're starting to get a little thin down the middle.
Yeah.
Right? Where you move PLD out and there's chatter that Scheifele wants out.
Yeah.
So, and you just moved on from Wheeler too, right? So that's a little concerning, but
Winnipeg's moving to a full rebuild here soon. Like I don't think it's unavoidable because you've got players that just don't want to be there. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Once you move Connor Hellebuck, you enter a rebuild.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, your franchise goalie doesn't want to be there. That's not usually a good sign.
Yeah, well, and I think it's everybody gets there and is hopeful. Like you're sold on the organization of like, you're going to be the star player here. We're going to make you a star. Your face is going to be on everything. You're going to be a celebrity in the town, and we're going to work towards something. We're going to build a cast around you to win. That answer only works for so long until you get tired of it.
Yeah.
Or you stop believing it. Gibby hit that point. Hellebuck hit that point. I'm sure Connor McDavid's hit that point too, but he's so fucking robotic that he can't express a feeling. So did you see that he got engaged?
I did see that, and I did not care.
Yeah, I really didn't care. Well, I'm sure my reaction was just about as emotion filled as his reaction.
You were more excited.
He got down on one knee. He's like, "Hey, Connor McDavid's girlfriend." That's what he calls her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what he calls her. He says, "Hey, Connor McDavid's girlfriend. Do you want to be Connor McDavid's fiance?"
She's
like, "Oh my god, yes, I say yes." And he's like, "This is the greatest day of my life."
Cool. Thanks. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll take you home now.
All right, Connor McDavid's fiance, let's go now.
Connor McDavid's I like to think like there's only two options for her. She either has all the energy and actually a personality, or she's exactly like him. So he asks her, he's like Connor McDavid's girlfriend would be, and she's like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep. Yeah. Good shit. All right. Moving on. Tyler Toffoli going to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Igor Sharangovich and a 2023 third round pick going back to Calgary. I like this move for the Devils.
Yeah, for the Devils. I don't know what Calgary was doing.
I don't fucking Calgary.
What are we thinking?
Calgary's a fucking fight. So it's one of our most interacted with tweets in recent memory and probably overall, definitely the top 10. On the Dusty Bender Twitter account, we tweeted out like legit question: why won't players stay in Calgary? And fuck, man, we're just inundated with fucking every answer known to man. Everything from Calgary's a shithole to the locker rooms suck to the management sucks to it's just because I'm of the Canadian teams on the surface, I like Calgary. Like, growing up, we didn't have a local team. Technically, the closest team to me is the Calgary Flames.
Jerome McGinley, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's some beauties that went through there. Like I'm with you. I've never had ill will towards Calgary.
I've never had an issue, and it's a Calgary market, and the fans are fervent. Like it's got a great fan base. I just don't understand why players don't want, other than there's the surface one of like it's harder to play in Canada because you got more of a spotlight, A, and B, money's kind of weird because the Canadian dollar and blah 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 and taxes. I get all that, totally understand, but that being said, like, how bad of management do you have to scare these guys away in like a very solidified market?
Or they have to have like cockroach infestation in the fucking home locker room or something.
It's got to be. I don't know, man. It's hard to narrow it down. It seems like more and more because other Canadian teams don't have problems bringing high dollar players in.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the fucking Maple Leafs here in a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like in about 365 days, right? It seems like this time last year we were kind of seeing the Goudreau and Kachuk stuff.
Yeah,
they've shipped out or lost their three top scorers from the season prior, right? Like something's up, dude. Like, and this one to me, it's
a mass exodus, man.
It really is.
It started with, not to be biased because I have I like this guy, but it started with Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett was an OG Flame. Like, didn't they draft him?
Yeah, I believe so.
So they bring Sam Bennett in, and as soon as he's get the opportunity, he's like, no, fucking I won't play. Yeah. Like, get me the fuck out of this place.
It's crazy, man.
It's not like the people that were in there going like, oh, the town's bad and the locker, like, is that fun? Is that fun for us? Like you and me sitting here, is that fun to make fun of that the Calgary Flames locker room is like one step above the Moscow locker room that we just saw,
sure,
a month? Is that funny for sure, absolutely. At the end of the day, do hockey players really give a shit? No, of course not.
No,
like,
and it can't be that fucking bad. Like,
no, it's a clean. It looks like a normal locker room. Like it's a very. It's like if you go to your rink and you've got the normal locker rooms and you've got that one nice one for like whatever your junior team is or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like it looks like one of those. Which it's clean. It's got everything's orderly. Like it's not. It's functional and it's fine. Is it as elaborate and grandiose as all these other fucking ones that have like a rising floor? No, of course not. And yes, I went to the Saddle Dome in 2013 or 14, maybe even 15. I saw a Flames Hawks game, and it was falling apart then. Like it looked like an aged and dated arena. So I get that, but like, did the players really give a fuck? I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't give a shit about that.
No.
So it's got to be something else.
I don't know. Maybe there's like one fan that just is yelling at them and they don't like being yelled at. I don't know. I don't know,
man. And it makes me sad because, like I said, that's like the one Canadian market that I've literally almost always been able to support.
Mm-hmm.
Like Vancouver, I've been up and down on. I didn't necessarily like them during the Sedin era.
Sure.
Edmonton, you love to watch Connor McDavid, but there's a part of me that like hates Edmonton fans.
Right.
So it's hard to support him.
Hates him.
Yeah. And especially Yamamoto. We'll get there in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Calgary's always been there. Winnipeg, I didn't like Patrick Laine when he was there. Patrick Laine is still that neckbeard asshole. But
dude, I love the neckbeard. You're such a shame that you don't like it.
So bad.
The Neard, man.
No, it's so
Come
bad.
on,
just let it grow on your face.
The Amish.
Oh God,
have something to say about it. That's their favorite player. If the Amish watch any hockey, it's Patrick Laine, right? Or die.
If the Amish ever get onto NHL awards voting,
Patrick Laine is just sweeping it.
Just sweeping everything. Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Well, Laine's fans of the Amish. All right. Perfect.
Yep. There you go.
No, I like that. Yeah. So, but Winnipeg, it's one of those markets. Maple Leafs can't fucking stand. The Canadians mostly can't stand them either. So yeah, no, Calgary's always been that one that I've always usually supported. So it sucks to see that market's just not doing very well.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Very strange. All right. Jumping June 29th. The Red Wings receive Kyler Yamamoto, Spokane boy, and Klim Kostin from the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for future considerations.
Yay. So the future considerations are now playing for the Edmonton Oilers.
That's right. Well, they bounce around to every team in the league, it seems like, but
yeah,
it's like a family. You think it's a family? Like the considerations family?
Yeah, and they're just fucking loaded. It's just a dynasty of a family.
You think the Kachucks are in the league?
Yeah. Whoa.
Let me tell you about the considerations.
Yeah, it's pretty much like Kachucks, Hughes, future considerations family. It's pretty crazy.
God damn it. Yeah. So this is gonna be, we're gonna have a lot of mentions of Kyler Yamamoto in this episode, mostly because of all the stuff going around. But I do want to remind everybody that Kyler and his brother used to kick my ass in internal exhibition games when we both played for the Inland Empire Warhorses at Planet Ice in Spokane.
Oh, played there.
I was on the rep Pee Wee team, and he was on the. Fuck, this is how bad it was. Kyler was playing for the Squirt rep team, playing up.
Yeah.
Okay, I was on the Pee Wee rep team we were playing the Squirt rep team, and they just kicked the shit out of us, man. The Yamamoto brothers were just fucking unbelievable back then. So yeah, skated. I can confidently say that I've skated on the same ice as the Yamamoto brothers, Kyler in particular, and then I got to see him play with the Spokane Chiefs. Do you ever get to see him play with the Chiefs?
Yeah, so I watched one Chiefs game when I was at U of I, and it was when the both.
It was with you and me, right?
I think so, dude.
Oh, that was the spring break.
Yeah, I had a shirt for the longest time. It's now a fucking garage.
Wall hanger. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was you, me, Spencer, and Jasmine, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That does sound right. Jesus Christ, I got him. I was recently told that my memory is scary good, so.
Yeah, mine is scary bad. So I need you.
Too many
my other leg.
Too much head contact.
Yeah, that's. I know. I get injured playing golf, if that tells you anything.
Boy, ain't that fucking that's a sign right there, my friend.
Yeah, sure is. Time to hang them up.
Yep. So Kyler Yamamoto and Klim Kostin go to the Red Wings. The Red Wings proceed to almost immediately buy out Kyler Yamamoto's contract.
Yeah.
He was on the books for another, I think, $3 million.
Yeah.
And they probably agreed with Kenny Holland up in Edmonton that he wasn't worth that contract. So they bought him out, and the Red Wings have plenty of cap space, so it wasn't a problem for Stevie Y. And as we'll talk about probably a little later, Stevie Y is not making the greatest decisions at the moment. So in any case, at least in my opinion, Klim Kostin, do you know anything about this guy?
Just a grinder.
Okay.
Yeah, just gets in on pucks and stuff. So yeah, and they did end up signing him.
Yes, they
Red Wings did. So yep. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's just a salary dump.
Gotcha. Yep, makes sense. But big trade nonetheless. Corey Perry goes to the Chicago Blackhawks, slithers his way over to the Chicago Blackhawks from the Tampa Bay Lightning, adding to this idea. Somebody's got to protect Bedard, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be Perry. That's a little worrisome if Corey Perry is the guy that's defending your franchise player, but that's just me. I love Corey Perry, but man, yeah. He likes to get in people's faces. He's probably only been in 10 fights total in his career.
Taylor comes up to him. He's like, "Hey man, if you want to just juke this guy out, you want to hold the stick like this and use your wrist." And Bedard's like, "Okay, cool." And then Foligno comes up. He's like, "Dude, if you want to be a leader in this locker room, you go up and you go in there and you tell all these fucking guys, you're like, you guys need to fucking get up and we're gonna fucking play hard every night." And Bedard's like, "Okay, all right." And then Corey Perry comes up to me. He's like, "If you really want to get under a guy's skin, you just tell them that you fucked their mom.
You just hack him on the fucking ankle." I like to think whatever Corey Perry tells him. So like, you got those three guys just sitting close to Bedard in the locker room. Perry goes up and everybody sees him go tell Bedard something. And then you just see Foligno like walk up right after Perry goes out of the room, and he's just like, "Yeah, whatever Perry said, just don't do that." Yeah. So what we're gonna do is the opposite.
Whatever he just told you, you do the opposite.
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Well, what'd he say?" He told me to clear the front of the net. All I need to do is put my stick between his legs and lift up high like I'm lifting a couch.
Yeah, pretend he does not have a cup, and just pull his nuts off.
Pretend you're doing a deadlift.
Yeah.
And you're just picking up that bar as hard as you can, as fast as you can.
You gotta work the tries, man. You gotta work those tries right into his freaking jock. Yeah.
The goal here is to take your stick. It's not going to happen. It's going to hit both his nuts. But the goal here is to go up and then have the balls go onto the other side of your stick.
Yeah. You want each one of his balls to be touching the Bauer on your stick.
Right.
Touch the Bauer logo.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, that's
not a bad move for Chicago though. I mean, Perry's still got a little bit left in the tank, and you know. Yeah.
So the logic here, I listened to the interview after Chicago did all this, and I do like Chicago's new GM. He is pretty open about all of this. He's saying, getting rid of Kane and Tays, they still had stuff in the tank, but the problem is that we want new leadership. We're creating a new generation. As long as Kane and Tays are on this team, they are the de facto leaders.
Right.
We have to get rid of them in order to start the new generation. Now that they're gone, Bedard is the start of that, but we're going to bring in vets to teach this kid how to be a leader.
Right.
And look, man, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, Davidson's definitely a good GM choice for Chicago especially through this rebuild. Yep. But I think he'll be there for a good long while just based on these moves. He's got some talent.
Yep, I agree. All right, I'm going to jump ahead, unless you see something else, to Anthony Duclair going to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for Steven Lorentz and a 2025 fifth-round pick. Man, Duclair's jumped around a lot. Apparently he's got an attitude problem. I don't necessarily know. Obviously, it's not Evander Kane level, but it's enough to piss off John Tortorella and up in Ottawa. I don't know if that was the case. I didn't hear anything about that, but Duclair going to the Sharks for basically nothing.
Yeah.
Duclair is basically a salary dump right now. Because I looked up Steven Lorentz and he is useless.
Yeah, he's a fourth liner.
He is absolutely useless, whereas Duclair is a guy under the right circumstances can probably score 25, 30 goals.
Yeah, but you're 100% correct. This is just a salary dump because what the fuck is Duclair going to do with the Sharks? The Sharks are going to be very ho-hum again.
The Sharks they haven't even hit rock bottom yet.
Right. They got a couple contracts still on that team that
until Erik Karlsson moves, you can't even start the rebuild really.
Right. Yeah, I mean Karlsson's there, Couture's still there. You got Hurdle, right? There's still a couple guys there that probably will bring some assets at the deadline, I would assume. But you also have to have a team on the ice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would hope. So yeah, this is definitely salary dump. Feel bad for Anthony Duclair. He is a talented hockey player. Was playing solid minutes in Florida on that cup run. Sucks that the return for him sucks, and he's going to a shit team. So
yeah, it does suck.
Sorry, Anthony. But San Jose might be able to flip you at the deadline for something.
Yeah, go somewhere.
So there's that. Last one, and this was kind of a late one today. Pat Maroon goes to the Minnesota Wild along with somebody named Max Kajovic.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Why not? To the Lightning for a 7th round pick. Lightning just shedding Pat Maroon. They're like a used condom. They're done with him and just sending him off to Minnesota to be aggressively mediocre.
Yeah. He'll do really well there. Being aggressively mediocre.
That's what Minnesota does best.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Got through the trades. Are you ready for some signings?
Let's have a quick word from our sponsors.
Okay, let's do that then.
And then we'll jump over to that.
Okay. What do we got? Who's our sponsor today?
Our sponsor today, this episode, is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN as in the Hockey Podcast Network. Bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code THPN as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelpline.org. In New York, call 8778-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 is the exact numbers. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700 on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. In West Virginia, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. 1 boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Max bet of $50. 10 plus leg rec for 100% boost. There we go. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.com, DraftKings.com/baseball terms. There you go. Got some baseball betting we can do. We can do a little betting on some MLS and things of that nature as well. And I don't know, sumo wrestling or something. There's got to be some options.
Yeah. Ping pong.
Oh, I would bet on that. Pickleball. Pickleball is going to be a bet here pretty soon. So
absolutely, I would.
DraftKings Sportsbook.
Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. All right, moving on to signings, folks. The signings, much more exciting than the trades that we've had so far. Arguably, I don't know. I guess it kind of offset the fact that everything was kind of boring with the trade market. You think?
Yeah, I mean we've had some movements. There's just not a lot of huge names in free agency this year, which that cuts back a little bit. But I almost think that's better. I think some teams can kind of see where their team wants to shore up. Right? I mean Toronto, if you're looking there. They needed some D and they needed some guys that they thought could bang a little bit. So just some of those kind of lower end signings, but definitely still some good ones.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's jump into it. I'm gonna jump from forth between the TSN free agent tracker and Puck Report on Instagram. They did a good job, as everybody probably already knows. Twitter went down for basically all of just Saturday. It was kind of annoying. So jumped over to Instagram and was able to follow along with the day's stuff. That, and I was watching the live coverage on Hulu. Shout out to Hulu for streaming the TSN free agency coverage.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Like, that was pretty fucking sick. Kudos to Hulu on that one. I cheers to that one. So, folks, there's first one. This wasn't actually on the day, but I do want to hit on it real quick because it's interesting to talk about. Aiden Hill re-signs with the Vegas Golden Knights, 2 years, $4.9 million. Is this the definition of you want us the cup, we're going to give you some money?
Yeah, I think Vegas is just trying to figure out what the hell to do with all their goalies, man.
So, ironically, and we can hit on this, so we'll bounce around now. Laurent Brossoit goes back to Winnipeg.
That is pretty funny.
Which is hilarious. Like he was basically Hellebuck's understudy for years. And now he's going back there, maybe because he knows that Hellebuck wants out and he's going to be the number one guy.
Could be.
Or at least he thinks he is.
Yeah, he loves rebuilds. He hated being in Vegas this year and winning games. He loves rebuilds.
He got his cup.
Yeah, fuck. Might as well.
He got his cup. So that gives me just a quick question. So first off, is Aiden Hill deserving of this? And I think I know what your answer is.
Yeah, I mean, shit. You can't have a playoff performance like that and not get some sort of money from that.
Even if play the first round too.
Right. I mean, it's it's one of those things. Like, if I know it's only 2 years, but shit, that's two more years of more money than I'm going to see in the next fucking 20. So
yes,
yeah, can't complain there.
Aiden Hill's definitely cashing in on the fact that he just won the Golden Knights a Stanley Cup. I don't even think he's the goalie of the future for that team. I think that this is such a cutthroat team that, like, it wasn't even in the trades. Was it a free agent signing? We didn't even talk about Riley Smith.
It was a trade over to Pittsburgh.
Okay, well, I guess we just skipped over it then. Riley Smith ends up getting traded. Like, he was the first guy to get the cup, after Mark Stone. Guy's an original misfit. Fuck you.
You're gone.
You're gone. So and we kind of talked about that in the last episode, I believe. Like, you can hate Vegas for all you want, not being loyal to people or something, but it's a business and they want to win the cup. And if they think they can do it with Ivan Barbashev over Riley Smith, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They got rid of Riley Smith so they could get Ivan Barbashev.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no loyalty. There's no loyalty anywhere, right? I mean, you can go work for a fucking any company and
okay,
money tomorrow, right?
That's fair, but like, yes and no, right? Like, does Sidney Crosby ever get traded?
I mean, probably not, but Riley Smith isn't Sidney Crosby though.
No, okay. Well, I was about to give two more examples, but both of those are bad ideas. Like Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane, like, so I guess you're right to a certain extent. I think it just depends on the situation, because more often than not, I do think teams like to, they'll write them out. They'll write out a franchise player. And then if they still want to keep playing into the late 30s and they're a franchise player, usually if they're not useful anymore, they trade them to a cup contender to give them one last kick at the can.
Sure.
And then it's, and then after that year or two, they come back to the organization and take a job in management or something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I could see that. I could see that Riley Smith coming back, but who knows? In any case, I think the Aiden Hill signing is solid. You and I have talked about it before. I think Aiden Hill is a solid goaltender and is probably a good thing for Vegas.
Definitely.
Still no word on Robin Leonard, by the way.
No, he's done.
Yep. All right, moving on. The Seattle Kraken signed Joey Dackard.
Sure did.
2 years at $1.2 million. Joey Dackard just backstopped the Coachella Firebirds to a Game 7 Calder Cup loss. Guy impressed me when he came up and played those few games. I think it's safe to say that he is the undisputed backup goalie to Grubauer.
Yeah.
And if Grubauer goes down, then he's the starter.
Yeah. I mean, in 26, instead of, I think Drieger is Trigger's probably in his 30s, right? So
Yep.
yeah, I mean they did a good job, and at a 1.2 million cap hit, that's exactly what you want out of a backup. You want a guy that's a little bit younger, should improve, right, as he's gets more comfortable in the big show,
Yep.
and showed it in the AHL, right? So yeah, I think it's a great move for the Kraken. Getting Dacky.
Yep, I agree. All right, jumping forward, just a quick mention. We don't need to spend too much time on it because he's a depth guy. But Klim Kostin, the guy that came over in the trade from Edmonton, he gets re-signed, staying with the Red Wings. I don't like this at all. I think Yzerman is fucking up pretty bad, but we can get into the Red Wings after we burn through all of this. I mean, signing Gustav Lindstrom and Matt Luff. If you're going, hey Chance, who the fuck are Gustav Lindstrom and Matt Luff? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
I want to talk real quick about Cam Crotty.
Yeah,
that's a pretty sweet name.
I couldn't agree more.
There you go.
Yep. Ottawa re-signs Eric Brandstrom.
Yep, not bad. That's he was a Vegas Knight.
Yep. He came over in that Mark Stone trade, I believe.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. OEL finds new life after being bought out in Vancouver and goes to the Florida Panthers on a much more appropriate 1 year, $2.25 million deal. I think for this money, OEL, this is fine.
Yeah,
this is not OEL is not elite, and he's not going to get paid elite money.
Yeah, I'm good with OEL. It's the thing with Vancouver. He was playing good hockey in Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something he just didn't like being up there or something. So I think this 2.25 per year is actually going to be looking really nice for Florida, because I think OEL is going to bounce back a little bit. I mean, he's not going to be up to his Arizona numbers, but he's got to be better than he's been, right? So yeah,
you think
at that cap hit
early on, totally way too early predictions. You think Florida makes the playoffs, or is this a Montreal situation where they reach for the stars and now they're going to fall to earth?
I think they still look good. I think they're gonna build off of the momentum that they had making it to the finals.
Yeah.
So I think they still will. My only issue with them is they're having to shed a little bit, whereas teams like not saying Columbus is gonna make it, but I mean teams like that are adding, right? So I think that's what worries me a little bit with Florida, is just the East is gonna beat the shit out of each other again next year.
Yep.
So I can see them. Race. Yeah, I can see them being almost in the exact same spot they were this year, where they barely squeak in or they don't make it. Right. So I think that's kind of what I'm thinking with them.
Yep, I agree. Carolina, Jesper Fast and Antti Ranta re-signed, and they also, I do believe, they re-signed Freddie Anderson as well, right?
Yep, they got Freddie a couple days ago, I think.
So basically locking down their current goaltenders. I like all three of these signings.
Yeah.
These are good. There's look, I know that a sweep is a sweep, and losing 4 games in a row is still not good, but there were some minor slivers of truth to Rod Brind'Amour when he said that was the closest sweep ever. It was a close series. They weren't. I felt like they were in almost every game. It wasn't a dominant thing. It's just sometimes the puck doesn't go your way, and Florida was just a team possessed. It was that Montreal effect where they just get to the final and then flame out. But
they weren't going to lose until the final. That team caught fire after going down a couple games to Boston.
Right. Oh, and then kicking the shit out of Toronto.
Florida got super lucky with Toronto though. So.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I like these signings for Carolina. Honestly, Carolina, man, they're arming.
Yeah. Here's my thing with Carolina.
Yep.
Ranta and Anderson for like $5 million.
Pretty good.
Right? 3.4 for Anderson, and I think I just Ranta was 1.5. So
you're saving money on. You got 2 goaltenders when there are teams out there that are paying fucking Robin Leonard, a guy that is not even playing hockey right now, costs more than both of them combined.
Sure. And you got, Bobrovsky had a very nice playoffs until kind of the end when his team ran out of gas in front of him, I think.
Correct.
But
injuries caught up.
Injuries too. But I mean, yeah, he's making twice as much as these 2 goalies, right?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep, that's nuts. All right. All right, everybody. Hey, marching band. You guys right? Okay, all right. So even though we haven't cared about where Ryan Reaves goes for, I don't know, last 8 years?
Sure.
He's going to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So now Ryan Reaves is a game changer.
Yeah, and at 36, he's got at least another 10 years in him.
At least because he signed for 3 years.
Yeah, he's pretty much has to have him.
So, and he has a long track record of success of being a goon, an old school goon in this league. Definitely helped out the Vegas Golden Knights to their Stanley Cup. Oh wait, he wasn't there. Or maybe the St. Louis Blues. Oh wait, he wasn't there.
Oh, ouch.
Or that cup run that the Rangers just did. Oh wait, I think he was benched.
Yeah, it's what, 3 years, like $3 million too, isn't it?
Yeah. Am I even missing? Wasn't he with Minnesota for a hot second, or did I imagine that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's been on more teams than future considerations. I
just love the Toronto fucking bias. Like any player, any new player that they get there, he is the fucking savior. He's the key piece. Any other team that Ryan Reaves go to, everybody's like, yeah, he's good for fights and crowd. People are gonna like when Ryan Reaves gets in a fight.
Right.
He's not going to move the needle. He's not going to change his team. Oh, no, but Ryan Reaves is now the grit, the sandpaper that this Leafs team needs to get them over the fuck. You out of your fucking mind.
God, I love off-season Toronto. It's
my God.
Like it's a fucking fiction story. Like
they don't even get to the point of I'm ready to be hurt again. They just forget that all the other year. I don't even know how to explain what the syndrome would be. They are so fucking aware of how terrible they are, and yet oh no, we're just gonna re-roll the dice. We're gonna field the exact same team that we have been, plus Ryan Reaves and a couple other guys,
and John Klingberg, and
John Klingberg's gonna fix all of our defensive problems.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine.
He's statistically one of the worst defensemen in the league, right next to Erik Karlsson, the guy that just won the Norris Trophy. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's get him.
Dude, I honestly Toronto, they just need to give Toronto the cup right now, right?
Maybe dude, if they put him on the same line with Morgan Riley, they can both get pinching up.
I hope they put Ryan Reaves with Morgan Riley.
Oh my God. Dude, this
just
team
just to throw a wrench,
This team is such a fucking joke, I swear. As somebody who will defend Ryan Reaves in the sense of I still think that if there are reasons why his style of play still works in this league. I get it. It does serve a role, but it's not a needle mover role. It's not a put you over the top to win the cup role.
Here's the thing, dude. You can't.
Guy's gonna skate 7 minutes a night.
Yes, you can't be this is the savior of the Toronto Maple Leafs when the guy's gonna be out there for 7 of the 60 minutes.
Years. They signed him for 3 years.
It's crazy, and it's nothing against Ryan Reaves. I think Ryan Reaves still has something in the tank. He can still bring something to a team.
I think Ryan Reaves is very good at what Ryan Reaves is good at.
Yeah, but he's not the fucking savior of the Toronto inner city. Come on, dude.
This team is fundamentally flawed. There is something wrong in this locker room that is preventing this team from from going far. It's just crazy. I don't know how many years we have to sit here and the Toronto media has to convince themselves that we'll just give it another kick at the can. How many fucking it's
I think it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
You just have to laugh, right?
Absolutely hilarious. No, they're not. Toronto's not going to fucking do. We'll get into their other signings here in a second, but in short, they're not going to fucking do anything.
No, it's the same fucking team.
Yeah, same fucking team. It's arguably worse.
Yeah,
I would argue that they are worse. There is you traded. We'll jump ahead a little bit. Tyler Bertuzzi signs with them for 1 year. 1 year at $5 million. Yeah. Which I don't even know how they're going to fucking pay him. They're over the cap at the moment, so I have no fucking idea how they're going to pay.
There's no way. There's no way. They can't keep Nylander. There's no way.
Oh no, but Nylander and Matthews are going to take team friendly contracts.
Oh yeah. $6 million for each of those.
$6 million. They're going to take $6 million contracts for like 1 year, sense. And they're going to do it because they want to win the.
Fuck off! Good God. To me, like, yeah, like what you're paying Ryan Reeves and it's nothing against Bertuzzi either. You're paying those two guys $8 million.
He's worth $5 million. He's worth $5 million.
I don't disagree, right?
Yeah,
but like
worth $5 million.
But one of those guys, right? Like and Bertuzzi is more of a usable player.
Yep.
Right? Like I'm okay with his contract, but you also have Reeves. You also added, I think they added Klingberg pretty low salary, but like. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, dude. I have no idea.
I don't either. I think that True Living or whatever the fuck his name is has come in, and it's just an establishment. They wanted an old GM that comes in and listens to what, and famously presented by Dubas. Toronto's run by committee.
Yeah.
There's a board of directors that tells Shanahan what to do, and then Shanahan comes down and tells the GM what to do.
Yeah. I think they need to keep receipts on what the fucking fan base is saying, right? They keep trying to make some of these moves for the fan base, right? Make the Toronto Maple Leafs fans happy.
Need more heart. Right? Need more grit.
Need more heart. You need to make a poster that says "Need more fucking heart," and then put these two guys on there. And if they shit the bed, you cannot be upset as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. You hypocritical fuck. Like, come on, dude.
It's so bad. It's crazy. So bad.
It's crazy.
That team is just they're
garbage.
Lost. So bad. Boston signs up James Van Riemsdyk. 1 year, $1 million, low risk. No problem on that.
Third line guy, not a problem at all.
Not a problem.
It is what it is.
Nathan Bastian, he's re-signing with New Jersey?
Yes.
Like that. Nathan Bastian's fine for 2 years at 2.7. Fine. Don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
The Rangers pick up Blake Wheeler. At one time, a very skilled player, now kind of a shadow of his former self. I think he's been plagued by injuries, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he's just old, man.
Yeah, that too. Age 36. I would say that this is a hell of a deal. If you even get
deal.
Yeah, for 1 year. Well, I mean, it's it's a short-term deal. I don't like that necessarily. I mean, for the age, it's fine. I guess I just would have went in a different direction. Like if I'm New York, I'm wanting to build a team, and Blake Wheeler is a very, very temporary. Like that's a kick at the can kind of thing.
It's interesting,
and I don't see the Rangers in that window.
Rangers picking up Blake Wheeler is bizarre to me because you haven't been able to get. You have three guys that 2 years ago when the Rangers made their push in the playoffs. You have your three young guys that played really well. They just they haven't been able to put it back together. Lafreniere, Hedl, and Kakko, right? You had those three guys. Why are you bringing in a Blake Wheeler? What's the idea?
It's like they didn't learn their lesson with Senko and Kane.
Yes, it's so bizarre to me. That's a weird one for me.
Which in that same vein, Jonathan Quick.
Yeah, that one's bizarre too.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because like what is Jonathan Quick doing? What are you having him mentor Shesterkin? Shesterkin is the top 3 goalie in the fucking league.
Correct, and that's being generous. Like he's arguably the best.
Right. It's just I understand the need for a backup, but come on, there's better backups on the market. I mean, would I have Jonathan Quick over Mackenzie Blackwood? Yeah, definitely. Would I have Jonathan Quick over Martin Jones right now? Probably not, right? I mean,
no.
I don't know. For me, it's both of these signings are.
What is Martin Jones up to nowadays?
He's just looking for a team, dude.
Yeah, it's fair. He played solid enough with the Kraken. I feel like he should be able to get a job.
I mean, with that defense that they were rolling out for a majority of the year, and that
he should be able to find a job somewhere.
He should be able to find. But behind a guy like Shesterkin. Where he doesn't have to play that many games. Yep. He shows up for 20 tops. You know what I mean? That's the perfect spot. I don't know. I
don't know. That's a weird one to me.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly going to the Nashville Predators. 4 years, $4 million. I really like Ryan O'Reilly. I don't think that this contract is bad. I just don't know if Nashville is ready for Ryan O'Reilly. Like, you're not rebuilding if you sign Ryan O'Reilly to 4 years.
Right.
Which, good for Barry Trotz. He's not waving the white flag. He's, making a splash as the GM. He wants to make it so, especially with the big news of getting rid of the cancer that is Matt Duchene.
Buying him out, and they moved Johansson.
Oof, man, he was 3 years at $8 million.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other side of this.
That's a lot of dead weight, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the other side of this. I think you just replaced Ryan Johansson with Ryan O'Reilly, right? So you have a very similar fucking team.
Sure, but then the needle doesn't move.
Right. I think Trotz is just trying to get fresh blood in there instead of
maybe.
I don't
know. It is interesting that Ryan O'Reilly's choice of this, the obviously because he has some tie to Toronto after this last season. Apparently, the rumor is that Ryan O'Reilly is a very good judge of character on a locker room on if they're ready to win or not. And he didn't feel that in Toronto.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's interesting. That's fucking hot news, man.
That's the rumor, anyway. Well, yeah. I mean, not hot news to a lot of the fervently angry Toronto Maple Leafs fans. They've known for a while, but
we've been saying that it's fucking locker room issues for
we've been saying that it's just the chemistry doesn't match. It's you've got one guy who thinks he should be captain. You've got one guy that should be captain, but or is captain, but is not as good as the guy who thinks he should be captain. Then you've got another guy who thinks he probably should be captain.
Yeah. And then
you've got Nylander who probably should be captain.
And Nylander, yeah.
So, that's probably it. Like, you've got a lot of prima donnas arguing about shit. And I don't know if that's going to be a good mix. So, Ryan O'Reilly taking a contract, like, he could have easily taken a contract somewhere at $4 million. That's not too bad. There are a few cup contenders out there that probably could have fit him in.
Yeah, Carolina comes to mind.
Yeah. So the fact that he chose Nashville is interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if Barry Trotz just has anything to do with that. Barry Trotz seems like an easy guy to talk to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's very true.
It's an interesting one.
I agree. Mackenzie Blackwood goes to the San Jose Sharks to torment them.
Yeah, I mean, they have to have somebody between the pipes.
They're paying him an awful lot of money to not do his job well, though. So
this is fully cap floor right here, buddy. They're trying to hit the cap floor with this. Yuck.
2 years at 2.3. Boy, oh boy, he's not worth the league minimum.
Good God.
Holy shit. That guy has not had one successful or healthy season. I don't understand what people's fascination is with this guy. I don't know. Well, I mean, he's going to, sail the sinking ship that is San Jose at the moment, so that's fine.
I like to think that he can play guitar, so he like brings it into the locker room and shit, and people are like, yeah, I like the music. It's just something to do.
Gather round, everybody.
I have a song for you.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mackenzie Blackwood. I'm gonna be your music tonight.
Mackenzie Blackwood does sound like a good.
That's folk. A good. Yes.
Yeah, like a folk singer or something, right? That's pretty.
Comes to the locker room. Hey, everybody, you ever lost the girl you love?
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it just starts busting it out. It's like, Mackenzie, put your fucking pads on. We're on the ice in 20 minutes, bro.
Dude, what are you doing? Good God.
Oh, shit. He doesn't care. He's unfazed. He finishes the song. He's like, all right, I'll be here all night. It's like, yeah, I know you will be. We got a fucking game in 10 minutes.
Locker room's empty. It's like, thanks for coming out, guys.
Please tip generously.
Yeah. Brings his goalie mask to the fucking bench and is trying to get tips for it. I mean, at 2.35, he doesn't need tips anymore. Good for you, Mackenzie.
Yeah, no, he's doing just fine. All right, we already talked about Freddie Anderson. I think Freddie Anderson's a solid goaltender. All he needed to do was just get out of fucking Toronto.
Right.
Jonas Corposalo. I love this signing for the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. I know Jonas because I follow the Columbus Blue Jackets. My dad's a big fan of the Columbus Blue Jackets, so I follow them regularly. Jonas, he got injured. He had double hip surgery.
That sucks.
For a goalie, that could be a death sentence.
Yeah.
And not only is he come, this is the first healthy season. He goes to LA. He plays great. I think that this, and before he got injured, Jonas Corposalo had a lot, like people were high on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I genuinely do believe that there's a lot left in the tank for Jonas Corposalo. I don't know if Ottawa's there just yet to give him the support that he needs, because I wouldn't put him in the elite top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's definitely an upgrade on what they had.
Yeah, the way Talbot played last year, Corposalo is the way Corposalo played with LA. That's definitely an upgrade if he can find that magic again.
Yep. So I agree.
Yep.
Don't care about Eric Johnson. Don't care about Connor Brown. Radko Gudas. Tell me a little bit about Radko Gudas going to the Ducks.
Radko Gudas going to the Ducks. He's bringing the beard, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Is
he turning the seam around? Are we talking playoffs right now?
No, but what?
No.
God no. But what the Ducks needed to do is they needed someone to kind of shore up the right side. Their right side was really weak.
Okay.
They had fucking Shattenkirk. Jamie Drysdale is going to be good if he can come back from his injuries and stuff. Like he's got some game, but this just gives them a little bit of nasty. The $4 million cap hit is a lot for Gudas, but he has, he's got some good playoff experience, so he'll help the young guys. The Ducks have at least 2. Yeah, so Minchikov and Zellweger both play on the left side. So if Gudas can go with, say, a Zellweger, because I think Zellweger is probably of the 2 closest to making the jump this year. It just puts size in a little bit of nasty with a guy like Zellweger who is 5'10". So I don't mind this signing. It's only 3 years, so you're kind of, by the time the 3 CHL defensemen of the year come to the Ducks, this contract's probably up, right? To where you either re-up him at 36, but it's Radko Gudas, so he's not gonna get re-upped, right? So it doesn't hurt them.
I like this for the Ducks. I don't like this for Radko Gudas. Like, he's basically like, yeah, I'll supervise your rebuild.
Yeah, I'll just be the fucking goon on this young
Totally
team.
cool with getting $4 million for 3 years. I'll be 36 when I'm done with the Ducks. Maybe you'll flip me. Maybe that's what he's hoping for. Maybe the Ducks will flip him at the deadline.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it for the Ducks as well. Gudas probably isn't getting $4 million anywhere else though either, right? So
no.
I think in his regard, he came off of a pretty good playoffs, decent season.
Yeah.
Might as well get the bag for the next 3 years. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, he if he can show that he's solid defensively still with a bottom rung Ducks team, maybe you flip him at the deadline, you retain $1 million and get a nice pick out of it. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know, because if I'm Radko Gudas, I'm sitting here going, like, you can't be sitting here thinking that I'm going to play out this full contract with the Ducks. Like, there's no way that I'm going to be here for 3 years as the Ducks go through a really painful rebuild and when I'm 36. That's just...
Yeah, he's going to play 2.5 years there.
Yeah, probably. Most likely. James Reimer goes to the Red Wings. Not too much there. He's a backup to Ville Husso. So
yeah.
Veteran presence. Nothing too out of the crazy realm there. Morgan Geekie, just mention it because this is a Kraken podcast. Morgan Geekie leaves the Kraken. Apparently, Francis was saying that he made an offer to Morgan Geekie. Geekie was not interested in it. Pushed for arbitration. They said they weren't interested in going to arbitration, so they let him go.
Yeah, I mean, with Geekie, right, you can replace him with Shane Wright this year or next year, right? Yep. So, yeah, why block Shane Wright for a guy that's probably playing fourth line center minutes? So.
Yep. Connor Clifton for the Buffalo Sabres, 3 years at 3.3. I think this is fine for Buffalo.
Yeah, adds some defensive defensemen when they have Darlene and Power there. So I think it's a good move for them.
Yeah, Buffalo's trending in the right direction.
Yeah,
albeit slowly.
God, their pipeline. Besides Columbus, Buffalo might have the best pipeline right now.
Okay,
Like
all right,
their pipeline is stupid good.
It's good to know. Cam Talbot goes to the LA Kings. For some reason, the Kings think that he can stop the puck. Probably playing in a backup role there as a 35-year-old goalie. But who's their starting goalie now that Corpusalo's out there?
It'd be Phoenix.
Phoenix Copley.
Yeah, I mean that's the only guy on
So
the
Cam
roster.
Talbot's the starting goalie.
Yeah, it's pretty much Talbot and Copley are potentially going to battle minutes.
What a horrible downgrade.
Yeah, that's not great.
Cam Talbot is not a good goalie. He's like the Brian Elliott to me. Like this guy's just he's never achieved anything. He's been aggressively mediocre his entire. I don't know. I don't know why people sign this guy.
The Kings have lost Quick, Corpusalo, and Cal Peterson in the matter of months.
They need a goalie. They need a good goalie because Cam Talbot's not going to do it.
Yeah,
they got him for 1 year on the cheap, but that's basically if you had any hopes of being good this next year and you think that Cam Talbot and Phoenix Copley, no offense, Phoenix Copley.
Yeah, might be a year.
Might be a tough year.
Yeah.
Milan Lucic goes back to Boston. Fuck him.
It's just he's going to retire.
Yeah, he needs one. He'll play 1 more year and then retire as a Bruin.
Yeah.
Justin Hull signs with the Detroit Red Wings 3 years at 3.4. God, this is just. I really don't like this for the Red Wings.
3.4. It's crazy.
He is not worth that amount of money. He's too old. He's a second pair defenseman. I mean, yeah, is it an upgrade on what they currently had? Yeah, but not by much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really don't like this deal. This is a bad move.
He's a right-handed shot, man. They are
desperate for right-handed shots.
Apparently. They are. Yep, that is the freaking
when you're
right there, man.
Giving Justin Hull contracts like that, you might as well just ask people in the fucking crowd if they shoot right.
Yeah, are you lefty or righty?
Fuck. So bad. So bad. All right. Let's jump forward to Dmitry Orlov. 2 years at 7.75. Is there a guy on this roster that, like, in a very short amount of time made his fucking money?
Yeah, fuck. That's a glow up, man.
Recency bias is strong and hard on this one.
I liked his season. And he's
always been a solid defenseman.
Right. But yeah, probably not at 7.75.
Not at 7.75 and not is it fair to expect the offensive output that he did last year again?
I think they're really bringing him in for Carolina likes their two-way D.
That's fair.
So I think that's why they're bringing him in. But I mean, I was thinking
I'm not saying Orlov, he's bad. I'm just saying that fuck, man, that's a lot of money.
Not at almost $8 million a year. You know, I mean, I was thinking him for the Kraken because they need to shore up that blue line, in my opinion.
4 or 5.
I was thinking 4 or 5. Yeah. 5 at the most, and Carolina was like, "No, let's give him almost 8."
Thank God.
That's crazy, man.
Rumors were out there that the Kraken were in on Carlson, and I'm like, please God, no.
Yeah,
that doesn't make the money wouldn't make sense. The chemistry wouldn't make sense. Like that would just be a fucking terrible. Look, as somebody who used to be very high on Erik Karlsson, I couldn't be lower on him, and I think it's because the reason that you can probably understand. Like, I just don't like best defenseman does not mean best offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
And Erik Karlsson just won the Norris Trophy, and it's very sad that like we're at this point. Like Erik Karlsson was statistically one of the worst defensemen in the league.
Yeah.
He scored a lot of points on a really shitty team. I don't doubt his offensive skills, but he's not a good defenseman.
Yeah, I think
he's just a fourth offenseman on the blue line.
You're looking at him, if you were actually seriously thinking about him for the Kraken, you're looking at him, they're just spending a ton of time in the offensive zone because he's there. So that in turn is good defense, right? I think that's the only way I can explain that to myself. But
Yep. I agree. All right. Detroit signs Alex Lyon for some reason at 2 years at $900K.
They got just 3 goalies.
just to make a goalie carousel more complicated, let's bring Alex Lyon in. So adding to that list, I don't mind Alex Lyon, but fuck, man, this I honestly don't understand what Eiserman's doing. Gustav Nyquist goes to the Nashville Predators. I've always been a low-key fan of Gustav Nyquist.
Yeah.
Going on at 2-3, 2 years at $3 million. I don't hate this at all.
No, it's not bad.
Yep. Yeah. Max Pacioretty gets 1 year, $2 million. God, is he fallen from grace? It's just injuries, man. Like he might have broken his hand signing the contract. He's being brought on to. Well, honestly, I don't understand this at all. If anything, you're the Washington Capitals. You're not necessarily looking to make the playoffs. You just want somebody to pass the puck to Ovi, and Max Pacioretty is not that guy.
He's a shooter.
Yeah, he's a shooter. He's a goal scorer.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the signing for Washington. It doesn't make much sense to me, to be honest. I mean, it's not. It's 1 year at $2 million. It's not a huge deal, but it doesn't move the needle much for me. They didn't want. If there was any issue with Washington, it wasn't scoring.
I think this to me is a low key flip at the deadline.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're looking at it as like how does this help the Capitals? I don't know if it does. Right, I think it helps them with the continuing the retool. Yep. And maybe he has a great year and then they don't flip him at the deadline, right? Like that's like, there's two good ways to look at it. So
sure. Yeah, no, I get that. Carson Soucy goes to the Vancouver Canucks, Kraken alum, 3 years, 3.2. Not going to help the Canucks in any way, shape, or form do anything significant.
I like Carson Soucy. I mean,
love Carson Soucy.
He had some good. He played pretty well for them for 2 years, especially year one. He was one of their better D in year one.
Yep.
3.25 is a lot of money for a guy that realistically is a third pairing guy. To me, I wouldn't have wanted the Kraken to give him 3.25 for 3 more years. So
I don't know what the fuck Vancouver's doing, man. That is a rudderless ship right now.
We didn't know what they were doing when they traded a first-round pick for fucking Hronek at the deadline. We don't know what the fuck they're doing over there.
I honestly don't. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. That team is. I couldn't tell you. Are they going for it or are they rebuilding? I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
I don't think they even fucking know.
No fucking clue. I think that they're trying to do everything they can in a very panic-stricken manner to try to keep fucking Elias Pettersson there.
Yeah.
And that's just fucking. Kevin Shattenkirk off to the Dallas Stars, 1 year at $1 million. Fine, sure up that blue line with some veteran presence.
Boston Bruins, but yes.
What did I say?
Dallas Stars.
Did I really?
Yeah, he just it's not even on the page. I don't know how you came up with that, but
like a D under his name. I swore I said Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins, yeah. Dallas Stars. Fuck.
One mil, might as well bring him.
I don't know. We're rounding it on the 2 hour mark, so maybe maybe I'm getting lost. God, what's Spokane Chiefs alum Dustin Tokarski signs again with the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, there you go.
He took the 2011 Stanley Cup. Fuck, it is getting late. Dustin Tokarski took the 2011 Spokane Chiefs to the Memorial Cup.
There you go.
Won it with Tyler Johnson.
It's pretty crazy. It seems so long ago, but
these
guys are as old as us. Yeah.
Yeah. So as we mentioned earlier, and I want so give me your thoughts on this. Matt Duchene gets bought out kind of unanticipated.
Yeah.
By Barry Trotz, and then signs a 1 year, $3 million deal with the Dallas Stars. I obviously have a more negative view of Matt Duchene. I feel like this guy has no history of success. I don't know. I kind of look at him like PLD, where I just don't feel like he's going to move the needle. He's going to move the needle, but he's not what the team needs, or he's too cancerous. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I like it for the Stars, and the reason I do is Jamie Benn is clearly a third line center at this point in his career. I mean, he had a decent year last year, but he's a third line center in my book.
Also, straight trash.
Also, hot water trash.
Yeah.
So I like Matt Duchene to kind of fill into that second line center role, and at $3 million, Duchene. Not last year. Last year he had a decent season, but the year before he was almost a point per game guy.
Yeah.
So he's still got a little bit in the tank, and this is very much let's see it, dude. Let's see what you got. 1 mil, 3 or 1 year, $3 million. So I don't know if he's necessarily a cancer. I think he just was getting bounced around. He requested that trade from Colorado before Colorado was good. They didn't really have a direction.
I want to go to a winning culture.
Right. They didn't really have a direction at the time, but then as soon as he left, it was like,
right.
Oh, but we do because we have Nathan McKinnon. So, yeah.
He goes to Ottawa, and Ottawa's trash.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Columbus, and he won't stay there.
Columbus, yeah. And then Nashville. So.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it can't be that bad for the Stars, especially at $3 million. He can sit in the press box if he's going to be a fucking nightmare.
I listened to his interview on TSN. They have him call in if they'll answer the phone. When he got the news that he was, when he was ready to talk about going to Dallas, he was very candid. He's like, Nashville's home. Like, this is home for me. I'm going to be in Nashville. Like, I understand it's a business, but I love this place and I'm staying here. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So, and apparently he's a big guitar player and a country music fan. So that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Old Man Bunting.
Old Man Bunting, 4.5.
3 years at 4.5, age 45.
Yes.
1,000.
He's coming up on Chelios. He's catching Chelios very quickly.
Yeah. 2,700.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is
3 years at 4.5.
This is not a bad signing for Carolina. They need some goal scoring. They got absolutely just identified.
But
how
many goals do you think Michael Bunting's putting up next year?
25.
Okay, I was going to say 20.
Yeah, I was going to say 20 to 25. So there you go.
Okay. All right.
So I mean, at 4.5, you get him with the right guys. That's not a bad contract. I think a 20 to 25 guy you'd probably rather see down around 3.5, 4. But
yeah,
I think Carolina was probably like, we got to do something to score some fucking goals because that was their downfall. They couldn't, and yes, they ran into a hot Panthers, hot Bobrovsky, and injuries and stuff like that. But you got to put some more pucks in the back of the net. There was games where it just looked like they were just shooting from the fucking perimeter just to get shots on the clock.
Yep.
So I like it for him. I think Bunting at age 27, and I know we joke about it, I think he has some growing up to do still.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think if he can kind of figure out that side of things to where, he's not talking shit to the refs like 5 minutes into the game and then he gets booted.
Right.
I think it's not a bad signing for Carolina.
Sure. So. We could mention that Jason Zucker, I skipped over this. Jason Zucker is going to the Coyotes 1 year for 5.3, 100% reaching the cap floor signing.
That's hilarious, dude. Yeah. That's such a cap floor move.
100%. Jason's not gonna fucking argue about it.
God no.
God, he's so not worth that. Moving on. Daniel Sprong.
Yep.
Seattle Kraken alum goes to the Detroit Red Wings 1 year at $2 million. It's probably the only one of the signings that Yzerman has done that I actually like.
Yeah.
Sprong's a solid guy. 20 goal scorer, I think, is a lock. And he can round out a Detroit Red Wings team that has been struggling with getting production from the depth. So this is a good signing. I think this is kind of a prove it deal where if he comes in and he can put up, moderate production, he might be in for a re-sign. And if he's not, then Sprong's getting flipped at the deadline.
Sure. I like him at $2 million.
Yeah.
I could have seen Sprong with the season he just had sitting on the fourth line playing with Ryan fucking Donato.
Yep.
I could have seen him closer to 3. So the fact that he got $2 million and can, from a third line role was what he should probably be with Red Wings, most likely, I would say, right? Then, you know, $2 million there's a very good chance $2 million is going to look real fucking
See, and
nice.
I think if he can get, there'll be a point where he might be able to try second line minutes, because there's a lot of chatter going around that Daniel Sprong he is more talented than what he was getting credit for, but he was just buried on a very deep Kraken team.
Yeah.
So if he can fight his way, and it's the Red Wings, so, you know, it's, especially with injuries, it seems like with this roster, everybody gets at least 2 to 3 games skating on Larkin's wing to see if they can keep up with him.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that Daniel Sprong gets a shot at top line minutes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he you know, jumps on a wing with Larkin or Raymond, or Larkin and Perron, or something like that, to try to see what the combinations are, because there's a lot of new names with this Red Wings team that we can talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, I like it for the Wings.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jimmy Schultz, we're only mentioning him really because he's going to the Kraken, but 1 year league minimum. Move the needle at all for you?
No.
Yeah.
Very meh.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Luke Glendening goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning for 2 years at $800K, solely to take faceoffs.
Sure.
And
then just get off the ice.
He will take faceoffs and then immediately get off the ice. That is correct.
Good.
That is what Luke Glendening does, and is how he makes his money. Kraken re-signed John Hayden 1 year at league minimum. I don't mind this.
I like John Hayden, dude.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid fan. I like him. He's
on a 2-way contract.
Yeah, he'll be up and down, but you know, it's just a bigger body. They need a little bit of a bigger bodies in that on that roster. So,
Malcolm Subban is still in the NHL.
That's all you need to know. What's the next one?
Malcolm Subban is still in the NHL, currently with the St. Louis Blues.
Yes, at league minimum.
He
is 29. He's fuck. It's crazy.
Remember when Boston was like so high up on him? They like thought he was going to take over the reins.
Oh, he looked good in Boston uniform.
He really did.
Yeah,
well, and even in Vegas, he had some flashes.
Yeah, true.
But unfortunately, he just couldn't keep up with it. Ryan Donato, Seattle Kraken adored, really.
Yeah.
Goes to Chicago, 2 years, $2 million. I think he went to Chicago probably because that's a really good that's good money for him, right?
Yeah, and he likes pizza.
There you go. That's it. Journeyman Vladislav Nemestikov goes to the Winnipeg Jets, 2 years at $2 million. I think that's fine. I think I don't have a problem with Nemestikov. I think he's a solid player.
Yeah, that's a good contract.
He's going down in the, you know, he's no longer a plug and play first and second line guy. He's now a plug and play third or fourth line guy. But
it's crazy that he was ever a plug and play first or second line guy.
He was skating first line center for the Tampa Bay Lightning for many years.
Yes, he was.
Crazy, but you know, he's just getting older. He's 30 now.
Yeah.
Troy Stetcher and Nick Bjugstad going back to Coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
That is a transaction that occurred.
Yes, it did.
And the Coyotes are still an NHL team.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's been some updates. Apparently,
they released like the play. They're at the draft, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Coyotes have an announcement about their arena," and they're like, "Hey, you know that empty parking lot next to the Walmart? Yeah, we might build a rink there."
Yeah, it looks cool, doesn't it, guys? Looks cool.
What do you think about this? Brantley Gilbert, he said he's got an empty parking lot in Gilbert that he might lease us.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's right next to Hooters.
Jesus fucking Christ. We already talked about Laurent Brossoit going back to Winnipeg. Hilarious. Doesn't really make sense, but you know, if Hellebuck's leaving, that's his thing. Alex Killorn, 4 years, $6.2 million, going to the Ducks. Taylor, how does Alex Killorn make this a Stanley Cup winning team?
He's there so he plays his 4 years out, and then 4 years later,
at age 37,
he signs another contract for 4 more years, and at the end of that contract, he's 41, and the Ducks win the cup.
Perfect.
Yeah.
At that point, are we putting Alex Killorn in the rafters?
Yeah, I mean he is. They just like game 1 this year, they're putting him up. This is fully salary. This is just cap floor stuff. I mean, he brings a good veteran presence because he's got a couple cups under it. But it's just that's the thing with the Ducks. They have their young guys up front. They just added their second overall pick this year. So they really aren't gonna. A lot of those forwards, the young forwards, aren't going to be up through the ranks in the NHL for at least 2, 3, 4 years. So I mean, it doesn't hurt, getting those guys contracts at all. So
I
it's just a placeholder.
Yep, I agree. Tristan Jarry re-signs with the Pittsburgh Penguins, 5 years, 5.3. I don't know what you think about this.
I think we saw him hurt this year. He's had flashes of being a good goalie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that they would do something slightly different. I thought that they would be making the move for like a Gibson type, right? But they decided Jarry is their guy for the next 5 years. So that cap hit, that's not terrible. I think I would like to see that cap hit a little bit lower.
Yeah, I would agree, especially since he's not necessarily proven. Yeah. I do think he's worth a second shot, though.
I agree. I think I would rather see.
What happened to Casey DeSmith?
Well, he might be UFA. I'm not sure.
Okay. I just don't want him anymore.
Yeah, he's
got injured or something.
Old news, man.
Fair. Dubas now, and I keep talking about like he's the GM, he's the president, but Noel Acciari also comes into Pittsburgh, 3 years at $2 million. Pittsburgh is. I just don't. They made a lot of moves. Maybe it moves the needle a bit, but God, how long can you keep this team on life support, man?
Yeah.
It's clear that Dubas is not rebuilding. He's going to make another run at it. He's probably gotten full steam ahead from leadership to try to keep this team going as long as Crosby's on it, and that's fair. I get it. I can't even say that I probably wouldn't do the same if I had Sidney Crosby on my team. Yeah. But fuck, man, I just, Alex Nedeljkovic is going to be the backup there. They signed him for 1.1 and 1.5. Ugh. I don't know. We'll see. They're going to be at best a bubble team.
Yeah, I really like this Ryan Graves signing, though. That was another guy that I have on my list for the Kraken potentially. Yep, 6 by 4.5. That's a pretty nice solid contract sign for a guy.
You're basically it's a younger Dumoulin.
Yeah, and a better Dumoulin. I think Ryan Graves is pretty clearly better than Dumoulin. But.
Yep, no, I agree. Cody Glass, I like that 2-2 going to Nashville. Cody Glass, Pacific Northwest guy, right? Or at least played up here?
Yeah, he is. Yes, he played up here. I don't know if he's necessarily from here.
I think he was Tri-Cities.
Yeah.
Could be mistaken. But yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with Nashville. I think that Cody Glass is a workable fourth line guy. Nobody cares about Alex Galchenyuk.
He's back with the Coyotes, so
good for him.
Yep.
Jonathan Drouin is still in the league.
Yes.
Pissing people off.
Mm-hmm.
With a shitty attitude. Sorokin re-signs with the Islanders. No surprise there. 8x8. Totally worth it. One of the best goaltenders in the league. They also lock up Simon Varlamov. 4x2.
Yep, that's an interesting one.
I like him as a backup to Sorokin. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think what's even crazier in this little section for the Islanders, Pierre-Engvall and Scott Mayfield getting locked up for 7 years.
Yeah,
each of them. You're basically saying these two guys are this team for the next 7 years.
That's a frightening prospect.
Yes, but at a nice cap hit. I mean, Scott Mayfield for till 37. That's pretty crazy to me. Pierre Engvall,
he's solid, but he's not a needle mover.
Yeah.
You can count on him to do what he's good at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Bowen Byram also re-signed with the Avs. Not bad. Everybody likes Bowen Byram.
Yep.
Lars Eller, like we said, Pittsburgh making moves that, do they make them better? Yeah. Do they make them good enough to be taken seriously? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Kraken signed Brian Dumoulin. 2 years at 3.1. This guy's got a pedigree. Couple cups under his belt. Was a fixture of that Pittsburgh blue line for quite a while. Had a bad year last year, but you could, if you're optimistic on Dumoulin, you can say that it was because he was on a bad Pittsburgh team that was on the decline and was probably playing in a role that he shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
So I think there's the upside on that. Do you fall in that category? I think he's going to be just fine in a third line role.
Yeah, he's a third pairing guy.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think his game, he plays a pretty solid actual defensive game, right?
Yep.
That's what he's there for. So Kraken need all the help they can get on the back end. So
yep. I agree. JT Compher signs with the Detroit Red Wings, the biggest signing that Yzerman gave out, 5x5 to the Red Wings. Interesting is a good way of putting it. Yeah. He is aggressively a middle six guy. I don't hate JT Compher. I think he's a serviceable, workable, good hockey player. But the Red Wings don't need serviceable right now, man. We need to move the needle. You need a fucking star.
Yeah.
And this is not a star.
No, like you said, he's perfect. He's a middle six guy. He can play that second line if he needs to.
He needs to is correct, but he's more suited as a third center.
Sure.
And fuck, man, I don't know.
They're loading up on those third line centers, man.
Contracts are already looking bad on. I'm already wanting Cop off the fucking team. That's looking bad, and I didn't like that signing when it happened. JT Compher, yeah, I'm really starting to doubt the Yzer plan. He is, and maybe it's just he's more patient than I am. Maybe Yzerman's trying to win the 2030 Stanley Cup, and if that's the case, then yeah, maybe he's doing great while he's putting a serviceable team on the ice while developing the young guys. That's great, but I think Red Wings fans, myself included, don't want to wait that long. He's been the GM for it feels like 5 years now. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's 4. And at that time, he was saying that we would be competitive by this time. And with the moves he's making, these are all short-term burner things where it's either prove it or we're trading you at the deadline.
You got to shit or get out the pot, dude.
This team is not making the playoffs next year. I'd put money on it. They are an outside looking in bubble team. Unfortunately,
a little worried about this team, unfortunately.
That is, and that sucks. It's the only thing here is that maybe Yzerman has a lot of confidence in the youth.
Yeah, which that's okay. Lucas Raymond is good.
Sure.
They drafted well last year, and I think they got a great player
at 9,
Palika,
and 17.
Yeah, 17. I actually like their 17th pick better than their 9th pick. But
by the way, if you've made it this long in the episode, you probably understand that we're going to do a separate episode for the draft.
For the draft, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. So yeah, I think that the Red Wings, they did draft well. I felt maybe Yzerman wanted his guy at 9. Anyway, I think that JT Compher, he's serviceable. He's fine. Is he worth 5? Probably not. He's probably worth 4. Yeah. And I don't like the term on that. I don't know.
The term is my problem. The cap's okay. 5 is a very, second to third line guy. And he had a year. He's played pretty well. What they call a stacked Colorado team. Mm-hmm. But the term of 5 years, that hurts, dude. I think that's too long for
just resigning yourself to being basically a rebuilding team for that long, and I just don't like that. I just don't like that.
I hope not. I hope he's got something up his
sleeve. I hope there's an Yzer plan. The only out that I will give him right now is that there's still a ton of cap room.
Yeah.
And
true.
it seems like William Nylander to the Red Wings is being willed into existence by Red Wings fans.
That would help. That would help.
And that would help. And if that's been the plan all along, then okay. I still don't love it, but it's a move.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a needle mover right there. You bring Nylander onto this team and we get significantly better, and we go from an outside looking in bubble team to, okay, this is a playoff team.
Yeah, they got a shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, it's, you know, and as we've learned, all you got to do is get in the playoffs.
Yeah, fuck.
And then anything's possible. Eric Gustafsson. I like Eric Gustafsson, mostly because he helped my fantasy team one year.
Yeah.
But I think that 1 year at 8.25 is good for the Rangers. He's going to help out that blue line.
Yeah.
John Klingberg to the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is the signing of the century, really.
Sure.
John Klingberg is going to single-handedly fix the Leafs blue line.
Yes.
Him and Riley are going to just have immediate chemistry.
Yep.
Both solid defensive defensemen that are great in their own zone. And no, this is just laughable to me.
It's crazy.
But one at $4 million for what? Being the worst defenseman in the league?
Dude, I mean, when he was with Dallas, he was running the top power play. Like he was a good good offensive defenseman.
Now he's 30 years old and has no defensive statistics to boast about.
Yeah,
he wasn't even an offensive presence in Anaheim.
Right. He didn't want to be in Anaheim.
Sure.
He had a kid, I believe, or got married or something. He had like life shit going on, so maybe he bounces back. But this isn't what they needed. They need good two-way D for that team. Just stack your blue line, Vegas that shit, get two-way D, and let your $40 million you have tied up in.
And in 1 year, what are you doing?
Yeah, that is pretty weird.
Are you the Toronto Maple Leafs, or are you trying to flip? You're the Maple Leafs. You're not supposed to be trying to flip people at the deadline.
Right.
Like, that's not your mentality right now. And at 1 year, that means he's a rental.
Yeah, I don't know.
So are you insinuating that is this the last kick at the can? Like, I really don't understand this signing.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
I really don't get it. Shane Gostisbehere. See, this is okay. Shane Gostisbehere goes to the Red Wings 1 year at $4 million. This is an upgrade on their blue line. I don't hate this at all, but why 1 year?
Yeah, so this is the turn. So I would rather see JT Compher at 1 year 4.1 and do Shane Gostisbehere at 5.5, right? I mean, I'd much rather shore up the backside.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking here. That's bizarre to me.
Very strange. I honestly don't like. If we're flipping Shane Gostisbehere at the deadline, fine, but why
you're in rebuild mode again, dude.
Why are you paying him? Yeah, why are you paying him $4 million then? Because that's going to make it hard. I really don't understand. Like, if you're going to pay him $4 million, sign into some term,
right?
Because Shane Gostisbehere is not worth $4 million,
right?
He's worth $2 million.
I agree.
Yzerman's really throwing me for a loop on this one. I just don't. I don't want to sit here and say that the Red Wings got better or worse, because I don't think they got worse. I just don't. It's not a step in the right direction. It's with looking at these terms and whatnot. It's just another, like, if I'm on the Red Wings right now, I'm like, oh, okay, these are hired guns to flip at the deadline.
Yeah.
Which means he doesn't have much confidence in us.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't know. If I'm Cider, I'm pissed. Your buddy Garnet Hathaway goes to the Philadelphia Flyers. What more fitting place?
Yeah, I couldn't have hated the Flyers even more, but apparently I do now.
There you go.
So
he goes there for 2 years to be a fucking Broad Street bully.
God, you know how fucking I would have flown down to Anaheim if he got traded to like San Jose or LA. I would have flown down there every single game they fucking played him just to
heckle the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Red Wings signed Christian Fischer. Nobody gives a flying fuck. He probably won't even make the lineup.
Sure.
Barring injuries. Evan Rodriguez goes to the Florida Panthers for 4 years. I don't mind this.
No, I mean, depending on the term, they don't. TSN doesn't have the term, but yeah, I mean, he's a good again a middle six guy. I think.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's basically replacing maybe the production that Duclair was going to give you. Maybe.
Yeah, I think a
different
little
positions,
under that, but I think a little under that, but a little more defensive.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing.
Right.
Nobody cares about Jack Johnson anymore. Nobody cares about Jordan Osterley anymore.
We're getting into some random shit here for a bit. Let's go to this fun one.
What do you got?
This is Kaylor Yamamoto. We were talking about him.
Yeah, there we go. Let's fucking get into it.
Let's get into it. Kraken signed him for 1 year at 1.5. Definitely a little prove it deal. The kid is 24 years old.
I love this.
So it's just a good move by Frank. Honestly, there's a good chance that Francis didn't even actually make this. The PR team.
Have I mentioned that I skated with this kid?
No. You want to let's go back. Get war horses or something, right? Yeah. Either way, this is it's just good for the Kraken. There's a very good chance. There's a very good chance that he can fit into one of the lines. We were kind of talking earlier. Possibly the third line has a spot for him.
Yeah, maybe.
Just depending on what they're doing with Cartier and some other things like Schwartz and Eberle. But
I've seen some crazy mock like roster combinations right now on Twitter. There was one that I just don't. First off, can we both agree that Shane Wright is not most likely playing on this team next year?
What's funny to me is the only reason I don't think Shane Wright will play is because Gord can play center.
Mm-hmm.
Right. If Yanni Gord was strictly wanting to play wing or was only a winger, then Shane Wright could easily slide into that third center role. But
Gord, Shane Wright skating a third line role though.
I think you know my thoughts on this. I think that is the perfect position for a young kid with some talent to break into the league. I think that third line center role is fucking perfect. There's the kid that the Ducks just drafted. I think he has been playing against men for one already in the Swedish league, but I think putting him on that third line center role and then putting vet wingers on both his sides, I think is a fucking great way to do it. So I could see them doing that, but he's going to have a nice fucking camp because he really didn't have that crazy of a year. I know he's bouncing around everywhere, but he really didn't have that great of a year. So
I think Wright needs to be in the AHL next year. Like I don't mind him bumping up and down.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I think that because I read somewhere that it's not even a lock that he can go to the AHL next year again.
Yeah, I think
we're still dealing with this contract bullshit.
Yeah, he's got one more year where he has to play either NHL or CHL.
Oh, fuck. And this is those weird contracts that it's like unknown to everybody, like it's not released.
Yeah.
Like the rules of this are just like kept under wraps, which is so fucking bizarre to me. Like it just, I don't know.
Daily Faceoff having him as the fourth line center, that they won't do that. They won't do that. It's a terrible spot for him.
There's no way. So wait, who takes? So your centers are Matty Beniers, duh. Alex Wenberg, duh. Yanni Gord, duh. Who's that fourth line center?
I think you're going to see John Hayden before you see Shane Wright on that fourth line center role.
Okay. Does Cartier play center?
No, Cartier is like full winger.
So Cartier's Cartier's on deck. Let's be honest. Like Kyler Yamamoto and Cartier are probably fighting for some sort of role on this team. They've got Yamamoto slated in on the fourth line. Yeah, I don't see Shane Wright and Kyler. As much as I would like to see Yamamoto and Shane Wright on a line, I don't see that. I think that Eberle might see some regression here. They've got the McCann, Beniers, Eberle line. They did have some great chemistry next year, but can Eberle keep it up? Burakovsky with Wenberg and Schwartz. I don't know. I think Schwartz. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Schwartz is an easy candidate to move down that lineup.
Yeah, I agree.
I could easily see a line of Burakovsky, Wenberg, and Yamamoto.
Yep.
And then Schwartz, Tanev can play either side, so you move him over to the right side. So I think you would potentially be looking at a fourth line of Schwartz, John Hayden, and Tanev.
Yeah, man, I think early in the season, if I'm Hackstall, you're experimenting, like you're moving, like Bjorkstrand proved to me that he can handle first, second line minutes in the playoffs.
Yeah, but the way Hackstall likes to roll, I think keeping him with Tolvanen for one, I think is
if he wants to roll 4 lines, which you could easily do with this team.
And I think that's where John Hayden really fits in but again,
if there's
exactly with this lineup as it is right now, I don't know where Cartier fits. Right, you could almost. I mean,
it's too deep.
To me, I personally, I'm not super high on Schwartz. He's going to get hurt at some point. He's only going to play 50 games.
Yeah.
So to me, I would rather see a guy
that's Cartier right there.
Yeah, I'd rather see probably Cartier there. And then, I don't know what you do with Yamamoto. Yamamoto's going to have to make the fucking team, I think, at this point.
He's going to have to have a good camp. He's going to have to show up, and he's going to have to show that A, he's healthy, and B, but, if Yamamoto, like, what's the ceiling on this guy? What are we hoping for? 20 goals?
I think a 2020 season would be pretty good.
He's a cheaper Carson Soucy replacement. Taking my bias out of it. Like, obviously there's reasons why the Kraken would don't mind taking a risk on this guy. He's young and he's a Washington guy. Like, this guy's going to sell fucking jerseys. Like, no, like if he's still on the team and he's having a decent season, I wouldn't mind burning my Winter Classic jersey that I'm absolutely going to buy on Yamamoto on the back.
Yeah.
100%.
You said he's a Soucy replacement. I think you meant Sprong.
I did mean Sprong. I apologize. Yes, I meant a Sprong replacement.
100%.
Yeah, he's a Sprong. He's a cheaper, younger Sprong replacement that I'm totally okay with. He's going to sell jerseys, and as long as he can stay in the lineup consistently, he's going to be a fan favorite.
Yeah, and
the only better thing they could have done was bring Johnson in.
Right.
Or Oshie.
I think. I mean, you see, Schwartz is for sure going to get hurt, so you can plug Yamamoto or Cartier there. There's a good chance, Eberle isn't going to be able to recreate the magic that he had last year on Beniers' line. So Yamamoto gets that chance, and Eberle gets dropped down a couple pegs, right? There's a lot of moving pieces here. I just, you don't want Cartier as the extra forward. You definitely don't want Shane Wright as a fourth line center. Like this lineup that they have on Daily Faceoff it's definitely not going to be what it is.
No, this is like this lineup on Daily Faceoff is like somebody who doesn't know the Kraken just kind of put some lines together, or just playing off of what worked last year. Like there's honestly, like, Burakovsky deserves first line minutes. Like before he got hurt, like, this is recency bias, right? Like, Burakovsky deserves first line minutes. McCann has earned first line minutes. God, I was watching an interview with McCann. He was talking about his stick. Have you seen this guy's fucking stick? The toe is not curved. It's jagged. Like, it literally curves and then goes at it's like this
90-degree angle.
Not that extreme, but fuck, it's nuts. Like, it's not a curve. It's a jagged fucking angle.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Super interesting.
And he explained it. He's like, the old style of, like, your shot coming off your heel and onto your toe is over. I just let it go from my toe.
Interesting. Yeah,
right. And I'm like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's a fucking worked for him. So
yeah, if your stick is more curved than my dick, then fuck, or go for it.
Yeah, and that's hard to do.
That's difficult. That is an extreme curve right there.
I keep mine in my pocket, so yeah, it's got a pretty exaggerated curve on it.
Right, absolutely. It's hard to get something out of the factory with that.
That's right.
People in the factory are like, "What the fuck is up with this, man?"
I don't know. It works. It's got 40 goals in it.
It does. So. And he was actually, like, really putting some effort on it. Like, he's like, no, this is like, this changed. This was able. I did this so I can actually get a shot off quicker now.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. All right, it's working. Whatever. Yeah. No, I think Kyler used properly. There's the people that were low on Kyler, especially because he was a Red Wing for a hot second. I think a lot of people were going, oh, he was underrated and he was injured a lot. And you put Kyler Yamamoto, a guy that he's quick, he's speedy, he's not a perimeter guy. He's got a lot of his goals were tip. So if you guys are really wanting more on Kyler Yamamoto, go to our Twitter feed. We retweeted like this breakdown. This guy broke down Kyler Yamamoto, all aspects of his game. It was absolutely fantastic breakdown. You got to check this out. Like 5 of his 10 goals from last year were tips in front of the net.
Yeah.
Redirects, stuff like that. I think he did have a 20 goal season, right?
Yes, 21, 22.
Okay. So he's not too far removed from that, and he was injured a lot last year. Yeah. I think that, like, look, if you're sitting here going like, oh, it's only 20 goals with the best player in the league, like, what more do you want from this fucking guy? Like, yeah. I think a lot of people, by that logic, why do you like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins?
Right.
Like, yes, he had a good season last year, but up until that point, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' biggest critique has been like, you consistently skate with the best player in the world. How are you not a 40-goal scorer?
Right.
And it's like, that's just so much pressure,
Yeah.
And especially when your job is, but like, literally you get to work in the morning and you have one note posted in your locker and it says, pass to Connor.
He's got to remind himself every day.
You wake up like, oh, hey, like there's a new coach on the team. So, hey, Kyler, we were thinking that, when you're on the breakout in the zone, if you wanted to, if you cut across the ice right here, you could accept a pass and somebody like throws a water bottle at him. Like, hey, whatever he just said. No, you pass the puck to Connor.
Stick to the note in your locker.
Wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you are. Yeah. You think you pass to Connor.
But I think so. I have the stats pulled up for Yamamoto right here. So yeah, 21, 22, he played a full season. So he played 81 games, one game left.
Okay.
20 goals, 21 assists. So he had 41 points. I think that if you can get production from him like that, obviously sitting on a fourth line, there's a very good chance he doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. But if you can get that production at 1.5, fuck yeah, dude. All day.
Absolutely. You keep him. And if he can stay healthy, I will give. If he gets hurt, then that's an issue. And at 5, what is he? 5'8", 5'9"?
Yeah, 5'8".
So I mean, he's a shorter player, 100%. Like I was looking at his player card, dude. I was laughing. I was like, take Yamamoto's card, make it 70% worse. That's my player card.
Sure.
Like, he draws penalties like no other. He makes great zone entry. He's got great feet. It's, his shot is just, average, whatever. His player card is interesting because it's just, like, I understand it, but I'm just a significantly worse version of Kyler Yamamoto. And that's why I was laughing about it, because like what he's good at are my strengths and what he's not good at are my weaknesses. Mm-hmm. But obviously he's better at everything than I am, except, sitting on the bench. Like I probably have beat on that.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it. Keep it warm.
Dude, keeping it warm, making sure the water bottles are rotating out. I got that. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm on top of that. No, but Kyler is like he's a young, and I think the injury problems will go down if he's in a third line role, because he's going to be playing against similar players in that third line role.
Yeah.
He needs to be slated for that. If you're skating on a line with Connor McDavid, you and I talked about this off the mic. You're skating on a line with Connor McDavid, you are going to be expecting a body.
Right. Oh yeah. You're getting gooned up.
Yeah, because that's the only way to stop Connor McDavid is to fucking, club this guy.
Yeah.
You have to minorly like assault him to even remotely slow him down.
Yeah.
So if you're on a line with him, then you're going to be playing against those guys, and you're just not a physical dude. So, how much does he weigh?
Probably $150. 152. He's 5'8", 152.
So he's my stature. He's literally my height and my weight.
Yeah.
Fuck.
100%.
Ooh. Okay.
Yikes. You want to get crushed by fucking Ryan Reeves, dude? Tom Wilson?
Oh yeah, because that's that they lay that hit on poor little Kyler Yamamoto, and they're like, yeah, $3 more million, please. Just earn my paycheck. Skates off the ice. That was his one shift for the night.
There you go.
This one shift just lays Kyler out. Kyler's fucking in a coma. And they're like, oh yeah, that's intangibles right there.
It's crazy.
Fucking idiot. Okay, so yeah, look, is this a huge needle mover? No. And if worst case scenario, Kyler fucking gets a conky 3 games in and we don't see him for the rest of the season, you throw his 1.5 on, and this is the pessimistic people. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I think that Kyler is going to be a good addition to this team and add some good stuff for the value that he's got. But if you're pessimistic on Yamamoto, worst case scenario, he gets hurt. You throw his 1.5 on IR. It's 1 year, not a big deal.
Yep. Low risk, high reward. It's no big deal on that. If he doesn't work out, no sweat. If he does work out, fucking fantastic. We just brought on a guy who's going to sell a ton of jerseys for us. He's a local boy, and he basically is replacing production that we had for somebody for less the price. Yeah.
You re-sign him. You re-sign him for a 3-year deal for $2 million.
Yeah.
What was he on with Edmonton? Fucking 3 for 3.
Something like that. It was still pretty low.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was. The term was, or the cap was 3. He's making $3 million a year. I just don't remember what the length was.
His cap hit in 21-22 was 1.1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, nothing right home about. I honestly don't understand. Like I don't know why Kenny Holland felt the need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah, it could,
for the amount of money that he was paying.
It could, and honestly, Kraken fans, it could be another Tolvanen situation. God, you just don't know.
You and I were talking about that. Like I love a Kyler Yamamoto Tolvanen line.
Yeah.
To me, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, and I think Hackstall and everyone would love that because then you can move Bjorkstrand up the lineup like he probably should be.
Yep. Let's end. So in an effort to end this episode on a Leafs rant, because we already talked about Tyler Bertuzzi going to the Leafs, Max Domi going to the Leafs, Domi 1 year $3 million, Bertuzzi 1 year $5 million. Like these contracts scream to me last kick at the can.
Yeah.
Or deadline flips, which doesn't make any sense for what Toronto's supposedly trying to do.
These contracts scream to me that Nylander they're gonna have to move on from somebody. Yes, they just put way too much money into 4 guys.
What's cap friendly looking like? Cap friendly Leafs. I would not be surprised if they are currently over the cap, which is totally fine in the offseason. I get that. They are currently $8 million over the cap.
Yeah, which is which is I mean, what
they are not signing William Nylander.
That's just nuts.
Nylander is currently on a just shy of $7 million contract. He's probably wanting $9 million.
Yeah, it's
not happening.
No, they're gonna have to move him.
Not happening. They are going to probably not. So maybe it is a last kick at the can situation where they've got Nylander for 1 more year. They've got him through the 23-24 season, and then they just let him walk in free agency, or they trade him.
They still have to move this thing saying at least $2.5 million.
Oh yeah, you're right. So no, they can't even sit on him.
No,
they have to move him.
Exactly. So yeah, the Domi and Bertuzzi signings today.
So they must be hopeful that Nyes is going to fill that role, right?
Yes, which he can. He's a good player, but yeah, I mean, we said one of the big 4 had to go, so I guess it's Nylander.
Fuck, that's so bizarre to me.
Yeah, the guy who has produced in the playoffs when your other 3 were dead fucking quiet.
Right. Well, no, I mean, look, the logical choice is to get rid of Tavares, but no one's taking that contract.
Nah, it's too much.
Nobody is, even if it's got 2 years left, no one is paying him $11 million for 2 years.
Or you're moving him to a rebuilding team that needs to hit the floor, and you're gonna pay them a couple first-round picks.
Fuck, and Toronto doesn't have a lot of those left.
Right.
So there's that. You've got Matthews, who, I mean, it sounds, the rumor mill says that Matthews is looking to re-sign, but he wants $14 million.
Yeah.
I would argue with him that he does. See, and you're not in a position to disagree. You've made a point now to where you have no leverage.
Right.
You go up to him, if he says 14 and you say, how about 13? He says, fuck you.
Yeah.
I want 14.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, okay. Just to put things in perspective here, Matthews, Tavares, and Marner together make up 33, 36, 39, 40% of their cap.
Yep.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That is unreal, and he's only going to take up more.
Yeah, that's insanity.
So these 1-year deals, I'm not saying that they're not necessarily, like, they move the needle a bit. Is it enough for them to get over the hump? I don't think so. I think that this is the standard Leafs thing of, like, they grab talented free agents and hope that it's enough to kick the core in the right direction when the problem is the core itself. So it's not going to do anything. And you're going to lose Willie Nylander. There's no way. I'm staring at, unless they get rid of somebody that we're not planning on, you can't get rid of Morgan Riley.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose any more of your D.
No, you can't get rid of him. There's nobody else on this list. There's nobody else here that you can get rid of. Like, you just wasted 1.3 on Ryan Reeves for some fucking stupid reason.
Yeah.
This is, I'm not saying that Bertuzzi doesn't deserve 5.5, but fuck, that's just, and Willie Nylander he's not going to come back for 7.
Mm-mm. No, he's going to want more than that.
He's going to want Marner money.
Right.
He's going to want 10 or 11. At minimum 9.
Yeah.
At minimum 9.
I don't know what they're going to do.
So the conspiracy theory is that Yzerman has made a bunch of small depth stuff to keep his cap space where he's still got like 9 to 10 to play with, and he's going to offer that to William Nylander. I don't know if that's true. That sounds awfully bold for an Yzerman move.
Yeah.
But it's out there.
Yeah, could be.
Cool. All right. We fucking did it.
We barely.
Man, it's 2 hours and 37 minutes. We fucking did it. Yeah, I'm about to fall asleep too. All right. Well, you know what? We'll discuss amongst us, but we'll get you a draft episode here fairly soon. Probably past the holiday for sure. But we will get it to you. I promise, folks. We just wanted to get the most recent stuff out of the way. And God, I think it was the hubris of us thinking that we were going to be able to get through all of this in one episode. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Now, next episode, you get ready and you can start talking prospects for us.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, folks. Thanks again for listening in. We appreciate it. And we will see you next episode.